Thomas Tuchel's busy trying to bring glory back to England for the first time since '66. But how did he get here? Well, from the sleepy town of Krumbach via some giants of European football, here's his journey to Wembley. Sitting around 60 miles west of Munich, Krumbach's population is less than 14,000 people. But Tuchel's friends there remember a boy whose ambitions lay far beyond the Bavarian community. His will to win was evident early. Tuchel often captained his youth football teams, and his school side lifted the national German football trophy in 1987. The sport took the young defender on a whistle-stop tour of South Germany, from Augsburg to Stuttgart and then Ulm. A knee injury ended his playing career at the age of 25, though. Tuchel accepted his first coaching role in the Stuttgart youth setup in 2000, hired by none other than Ralf Rangnick. Under Tuchel's stewardship, the club's under-19s won their league title in 2005. But Stuttgart chose not to renew his contract, feeling Tuchel had an abrasive personality. He went on to manage Augsburg's second team before spending 5 years at the helm at Mainz. He then followed in Jurgen Klopp's footsteps and moved from Mainz to Dortmund. Here, Tuchel secured his first major silverware, the German Cup, in 2017. 8 more major trophies came next for Tuchel in just 5 glorious seasons. He won 2 Ligue 1 titles and a pair of domestic cups as PSG boss. At Chelsea, he famously lifted the Champions League, as well as a Super Cup and a Club World Cup, and he also bagged a Bundesliga at Bayern Munich. And then, 4 months after leaving Bayern, Tuchel was unveiled as England's new manager.
I always wanted to come back to England. That was my big goal. I have the best memories of the country, of the league and of the players. The attitude towards the game, the attitudes from the supporters.
Well, here's hoping Tuchel can finally drag England over the line at a major tournament.
Morning, 4 minutes past 6, Thursday, August the 13th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor, and Arnold Clark's deal drop. Get the new car feeling without the new car price. Discover some of their biggest savings and find your next car today. Morning, Gabs.
Morning, Jeff. How are we, mate?
Yeah, okay. Enjoy the eclipse.
No, I didn't. It wasn't what I expected. I got actually got a forest bike with one of the managers, Joe. We rode over at 6 o'clock to Greenwich. It's actually quite nice. Bicycle lanes all the way to Greenwich. Got into Greenwich Park. And when I got there, Jeff, I couldn't believe how many people were there. It was like there was actually aliens landing. You know what I mean? It was giving me a concert vibe when I got there. And then 7:15, 7:17, 7:19, everyone starts leaving. It was like anticlimax, and everyone was stuck in traffic. I got back on my line bike, half an hour back at London Bridge. So anticlimax. Mallorca was the place to be, wasn't it?
Was it?
It looked stunning from Mallorca.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like a proper eclipse there.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed those bicycle lanes everywhere. Every single motorist in London hates them with a vengeance.
Honestly, Jeff, I've turned into one of them guys that, like, with you, Alan will be looking at, like, oh, because even cars that are trying to turn, last night, honestly, Jeff, like, traffic of bikes, more bikes than cars on the road by a mile, but it gets you around London quicker, so no complaints.
No, I didn't really see it either.
Didn't look at it.
I was on the train coming in, so
Look out the window.
you can't. You can't. But look, I'm consoled myself. You know, I think the next one is in 2090, so I'll watch that.
Yeah, we'll do that together.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah. Wasn't a beat for Villa in Salzburg last night against PSG. Gave it a go, though, didn't they? And it was a big night for 17-year-old Brian Maggio after he scored his first goal for the club. Adrian Durham and Andy Townsend were watching. They discussed what his future might look like.
Could he possibly in time, and I'm asking you to predict the future here, could he possibly in time be that long-term replacement for Harry Kane?
Well, do you know what, Adrian, as they were coming out for the second half, I was looking at him and thinking, I wonder what Tuchel's thinking tonight watching that.
Wow.
I wonder what...
Already?
Well, because every now and again, when young players come along that are different and they've got something that you look at that you think others might not be able to handle, what do? Do you wait a year, 2 years, 3 years before you start introducing them, or do you get them going as soon as you can? The first serious platform he gave him tonight, he absolutely blitzed it. He was brilliant in the first half. He was really good, and the Villa fans, as I said, are going to love him. Are going to absolutely adore him.
Blimey, no pressure there, is there? Played for an hour and we're talking about him being the future of English football. Now, my view was he had a terrific night. He had a lorry load of chances, and to his credit, kept getting in. He's a unit.
Yeah.
God, he's a unit, and he's a nuisance as well. Can't heap pressure on him now at 17 by saying he's the future, he's the next Harry Kane? It's so grossly unfair.
Yeah, I felt watching the game, obviously Villa fans would have known a lot about him pre-season, scored 4 goals. He's been the talk of the club. Obviously, as well, Jeff, Villa had to appeal the decision that he could play before his 18th birthday because foreign players come in abroad to the Premier League. There's rules in place that you can't play until 18, but he was born in England, so Villa got the appeal. They won the appeal and he was available to play. He reminds me of a young Lukaku. I mean, the way he was bullying Pacho, he was terrorising that defence. Did he miss chances? Yes, he did. Players at 25 will miss chances, never mind 17. He's going to learn a lot. I don't think you can start saying now he's the next striker after Harry Kane, but you know what you need to do now, Jeff? If I'm the FA, I am fast-tracking him because Luxembourg, no, he's not going to choose Luxembourg, but Cameroon, parents are from Cameroon. They'll be looking at him right now saying, we want to get him in the squad for the Cameroon, get him playing a competitive qualifier so that he can't play for England. So maybe fast track him.
He's made it pretty clear that he wants to play for England, hasn't he?
Yeah, but you never know, do you? There's so many players. I was in that position where I could have played for Scotland, Nigeria, through my parents. His parents are Cameroonian. So if I'm the England setup now, he's been called up to under 17s for friendlies this month. I'm fast tracking him even to the 21s. Not straight away now, Jeff, but let's see how he does over the next 2 or 3 months. It won't surprise me if he gets fast-tracked to the 21s. And Thomas Tuchel, the FA, are looking at it and saying, okay, do we get him into the squad? Do we get him a cap in a qualifier, a Nations League game, so that he has to play for England? Because after Harry Kane, how many strikers do we look at and say, whoa, he's the next Harry Kane? I agree. They shouldn't put pressure on him now that he's going to be our next striker after Harry Kane. But that performance last night, even though it's only 60, 70 minutes, he was fantastic. And maybe if he continues and the manager gives him game time this season, we could be looking in 2 years' time, Jeff, at the Euros and saying he's on that plane and he's the cover for Harry Kane.
Yeah. How many times do you think he'll start for Villa next season?
I look at that, Jeff, last night, and the fact that he started before Tammy Abraham says to me he's ahead of Tammy Abraham. And I look at Ollie Watkins, I look at when Rashford come, I look at when Duran come, and he was getting squeezed out. The way he played last night...
You'd start Maggio ahead of Ollie Watkins?
No, I'm not saying I'll start ahead of him, but in a season where you've got 4 competitions, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, Premier League, he will get enough game time. And if he plays anywhere near he did last night, the hold-up play, the running into the box, the way he's bullying defenders, the way he took his goal... The way he's just backing into defenders and laying it off. He looked like an experienced striker. No, if he can score more goals, obviously, and take more chances, he will definitely play a lot of minutes under this manager.
Yeah, no. Look,
10 million as well, Jeff. You know, not peanuts.
He was terrific. I just want to, in the Premier League, you can't have 5 glorious chances and score 1. Be 17.
Exactly.
One thing I would say was his performance has taken the spotlight away from George Hemmings of 19, who I thought was absolutely outstanding.
He's our new Jacob Ramsey. That's how I look at him. I look at like Jacob Ramsey, what he offered, and Hemmings, running power, nice touches. And what I feel for Hemmings last season, Jeff, he started a game in the Europa League and it didn't work out for him. And at half-time, manager took him off and he wasn't involved again really with the team. Been given another chance, done a lot better off the left than he did playing centre midfield in the Europa League. And it's what Villa needs. Sometimes, Jeff, as a Villa fan, as any fan, you're a bit worried in pre-season. You've lost Rodgers, you've lost Tielemans, you've lost Digne, you brought in a few new players. And last night has made Aston Villa fans say, and relax, all is okay. You know, Unai Emery we trust after that performance.
Yeah, look, I think it was a really encouraging night for Villa, no question about that. But Maggio certainly got everyone talking about that performance last night, including us. And his manager, Unai Emery, who had this to say.
I wanted to play with young players as well and watch their progression. And more or less, Brian, he started playing in Walsall, scoring 2 goals, 1 goal like today. He continued scoring goals in Porto. He scored. No, Porto was Luca. The young players, and against teams, Real Sociedad, he scored, Brian. And he played today because he was in precision, showing us his capacity to work in our idea, being as well demanding, because as well it's not scoring goals, it's as well how he's defending, how he's getting the commitment and discipline tactically, and he was doing, and today he did again.
Yeah, and it's great that in a game like that, look, and in a lot of people's eyes it's a glorified friendly, but it's against PSG that he is willing to give him his opportunity there, and Hemmings as well, which is brilliant.
10 million as well, Jeff.
Yeah.
Let's not pretend that he's just come through the youth system and he's one of our own. They paid 10 million from Metz in January. Big money.
Yeah, big money for a
17-year-old
boy. Absolutely. You're concerned about Konsa maybe leaving?
Yeah, of course. You know, for me, he's England's best defender. He was at the World Cup. I mean, he's been a legend of a defender for Aston Villa. I think he's got 2 years left, Jeff. We spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. The money that he's going to want and he deserves. When you're playing against with Gahey, you're playing with Stones, and these guys are on 250, 300, whatever they're earning. He deserves that big money, and maybe this is his last chance to go and get it. But Aston Villa need to go and bring in a top centre-half. They're talking maybe 60 million is what they're valuing Konsa at. I'm sure Arsenal will pay that within the next 2 weeks, but they've got to go and replace him.
Yeah, completely agree.
No better manager to replace players.
No, I mean, we all know what his track record is like, that's for sure. Villa fans, let's hear from you this morning. How excited are you about Brian Maggio? Does he have to be handled with kid gloves a bit, or is he ready-made centre-forward for the Premier League? Despite losing last night, you're now more confident of what's to come this season.
So what, Jeff, quickly as well. You know, like for me, as a young player, when I got my debut, I remember, Jeff, being around the first team and, like, when you miss a chance at like 19, you're a bit like, I better pass the next one. You know, like you're a bit like timid and a bit scared. And this guy was like, give me the ball again. He's taking shots. He doesn't care that older players are looking for the ball. That says a lot to me that he's playing at a level and a confidence of not a 17-year-old.
Yeah. Let's hear your views. Or is Neil the Wigan fan right when he says, surely you can't take anything from that performance? Tottenham nearly beat them last year. And then nearly got relegated. 03717 223344 is the number. Give us a call. By the way, what a day it was yesterday for sunglasses salesmen, wasn't it? I mean,
I'll be taking mine back today.
It was the day of their lives. Yeah, that's what you should have done. Sale or return. You can all bring them back within 24 hours.
It didn't work.
Brilliant, wouldn't it? Coming up, we'll turn our attention to the back pages. Miles Lewis, Skelly on the score sheet for Arsenal in their friendly against Como.
know. Because, do you know what I'm not buying, Gabby? I'm not buying this whole, Victor would have been a problem. I don't know if we would have been Vinny would have taken the number 7 shot, would he?
No.
We don't know.
I don't think that, but like Vinny Jr.'s character, like he's going to Arsenal, he wants Ballon d'Ors, he wants, do you know what I mean? Like,
what's wrong with that?
No, but I'm saying, and also, he's coming in on a lot more money than other players. If you're Saka and Rice and Ryan and Gabriel and Saliba, and he's coming in, triple what you're earning,
massive causes.
Well, if you've won a couple of Champions Leagues, right, and the league is running out your ears, then yeah.
As far as the other players are concerned, that doesn't matter.
Why not? Why does that not matter?
They're the players who just won you the Premier League.
But that's the player. But that's the marquee signing. Bruno G cannot be our marquee signing. He can't. We need a statement signing. That's what I would like.
You don't need a statement signing. You don't need any particular signing. You'll win this Premier League without it. And people will say, strengthen from a position of strength. Well, just ask Liverpool fans what happened when they won the league, and they strengthened with people like Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz.
Do you know what my issue is? Is that I do think we're going to win the league this year, and I think we're stronger. But I think of the fact that when you're in these kind of positions, like a Man City were when they first won the league, when they beat United on goal difference, you have to capitalise. You have to know that your future depends on this 2, 3, 4 year period.
Good morning to you. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor is alongside me. To touch of James Morrison, who's 42 today. It's Broken Strings duet with Nelly Furtado. Burst out of the scene. He burst out of the scene in the sort of early 2000s string of hits. Was absolutely fantastic for a little while. Got a great text here from Freddie in Leamington Spa. It's quite a long one, so I'm just going to take an excerpt out of it. It's basically about Brian Maggio. Said, he's an absolute unit. Correct. Don't want to pressure him, but I can see signs of Haaland in him. Well, thank goodness, Freddie, you're not not going to pressure him. The new Erling Haaland. A bit early to say that just yet. And Pompey Adam, he wants to talk about Hartlepool and Middlesbrough. We will discuss that a bit later. I'll tell you just what happened, Adam, okay? Okay, it is 6:20. Time now to look at the back pages with Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Get a regular Costa Express iced coffee as part of your Tesco meal deal at participating Tesco stores. Terms and conditions apply.
And just before we turn to Katie, great text saying, all you mugs who paid full price for their Eclipse sunglasses, I'm going to buy mine today when they'll be half price. She's brilliant. Morning, Katie.
Good morning. Did you guys enjoy the solar eclipse last night?
I didn't know. Anticlimax. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of
everyone
in the talkSPORT office is saying it was a massive letdown. I've seen photos from Spain.
Mallorca looked amazing.
Oh, that's where you need to have seen it.
If only I knew.
Yeah, I was at a restaurant with my friend last night, and everyone was like gathering outside. Like, oh, what's going on? And then we realised it was the solar eclipse, and then everyone had their glasses. And I asked a stranger, I was like, do you mind? Can I please borrow some of your glasses? And I borrowed them, and then I saw it, and it was great. It wasn't quite Ibiza,
Video cameras, the lot.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was incredible.
Yeah, but if you were in Ibiza, you wouldn't be interested in the solar eclipse.
Yeah, maybe it cocked out, just happened to see it. So back pages, number of the headlines talking about the UEFA Super Cup with the teenage sensation for Aston Villa. Mojo is on the back page of The Sun.
What a player.
I was going to say, how impressed were you with him last night?
I think it was outstanding. Could have got a hat-trick, even 4 goals. But I love the way he carried on. Even though he missed a few chances, he was hungry to score. His hold-up play, he bullied Pacho at times, experienced centre-half. And I think he's going to have a lot of game time this season. Puts pressure on maybe Tammy Abraham, who's maybe now going to get pushed down to 3rd choice.
This other story on the back page of the Daily Mail. Chelsea give Man City until 5 p.m. tomorrow to sign Enzo Fernandez. So that's today. 120 million.
Ooh.
Chelsea want. Do you think that's too much?
It's about right, isn't it?
Do you think it's about right?
Yeah, I think Enzo Fernandez.
120 million.
Yeah, but he signed for 100.
Yeah, but
105.
he hasn't made the impact of a £100 million player at Chelsea.
Did you not see him at the World Cup final? That tackle that, you know...
I know, but you can't judge him on a tackle. I think he's still a talented player, and Chelsea are looking at it and saying, look at the players that are going for 115, 117, Barcola, 135, PSG 1. I think he's still a £100 million player.
I think they're trying to force it through the door because they can't believe they might get 120 million for him.
Yeah, I think he's worth it. I
and
like
then
him.
you think, Enzo Fernandez and Elliot Anderson, would that be the best midfield in the Premier League?
Could be. Yeah, I think he's a top player. I like him. Listen, is he public enemy number 1 over here? Yes, he is. But he's a talented player and he scored a lot of goals.
Declan Rice and Bruno Guimaraes, would you not think that's the best midfield in the Premier League?
I think it will push him. I really do. Elliot Anderson.
Gabs.
No, I think Elliot Anderson is a top player, of course. If they get Buadi through the door as well, imagine that.
Yeah. On to Arsenal then. They played Como, Cesc Fabregas' Como last night at the Emirates. I was actually watching it on Arsenal's YouTube. 250,000 people were watching.
Really?
For a pre-season friendly, which I thought was, and on YouTube. I thought that was quite interesting. Mars Lewis-Skelly getting on the score sheet and also looking emotional when he scored with Bruno Guimaraes scoring from the penalty spot and obviously making his debut for Arsenal. Do you think this Mars Lewis-Skelly situation has caused unnecessary rest?
It just depends who it come from, because whoever leaked it, did they leak it from knowing really? Because when we all heard it, I think everyone thought, that's a bit odd. You know, he's a top player. He started the Champions League final. He's 19. The sell-on value that he's got will be a strange transfer for Arsenal to let go out the door. And now it's looking like it was fake news, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. We'll see. How often is he going to play? How often will he start for Arsenal next season?
That's the thing. He's not going to start in the midfield, is he?
Yeah, but look how many games they're going to play.
Yeah, I know. But
even last season,
you're not interested in starting Carabao Cup and FA Cup, are you? You want to be there for the big ones.
But he did last season. I think it was 10 in the Champions League, 20 in the Premier League appearances. So he'll still get his football this season. But if he doesn't, like you say, get the starts that he wants this season, maybe it's something he looks at the future and says, I start at Manchester United. I start at a lot of teams in the Premier League, and maybe he looks at a move, but I don't see that happening now. Yeah, I really don't.
On to Joe Root then. This story on the back page of the Mirror, Jeff. Root, no more curfews. It's time to act like grown-ups. Do you think Root has made the right choice by doing this?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, look, he's right. Of course, it's time to act like grown-ups, but that's worked well in the past, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, but they are grown men. I think they got to take responsibility for their own actions, and if they step out of line, you know, and get into trouble, then they pay for it individually. I'm not sure why the collective should suffer, you know, because maybe one or two step out of line from time to time.
And are you happy to have Root back in charge?
Don't think he's happy to be back in charge.
No.
I think the last thing that Joe Root wanted was to be England captain, because his captaincy, you know, hasn't gone particularly well when he's been in charge. He wants to focus on his batting. He's our best batsman by a mile. You know, one of the greatest batsmen in the world. And I think he wants to basically give all his attention to that rather than trying to be, you know, captain of a side, which at the moment is in decline, isn't it?
And this other story on the back page of the Mirror, Lionel Messi. I can't go on, as Lionel Messi has dropped a heavy hint. He is to close and retire potentially. This is after his father died, and he came out with a really emotional statement on Instagram, which was actually really in detail. It was really emotional, and just saying that he doesn't think he could carry on. His dad being there from the early days in his career, taking him to training sessions, being his agent.
Understandable.
So I suppose, you know, when we were seeing him I was there at the World Cup final, literally seeing all the fans singing his name, and he just stood there with tears in his eyes, and it did feel like the end. And so what did you make of his kind of post last night?
I've seen it, and it's very emotional, wasn't it? You know, you just see him, how much his dad meant to him. And, you know, we're not talking about a player who's in their 20s. You know, he's done everything in the game. And he said, didn't he felt like his legs were giving up on him during the World Cup, and he couldn't give any more. If he retired tomorrow, everyone would say, no problem. Best player to ever play the game. What else is he playing for? You know, maybe now he's looking at it and saying, I want to spend more time with my family. And, you know, he's still going to be mourning his dad for years to come. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does. I definitely don't think he plays again for Argentina.
Yeah. I'd quite like to see him end it now. While he's absolutely at the top of his game, the last thing you want to see is to witness him in decline.
Yes.
You know, and that's going to happen. There's no question about that. He's been, for me, best player of my lifetime.
Yeah, 100%. It doesn't matter either, does it, Jeff? Like who you are. If you lose someone so close to you, family member, loved one, you're never the same person. You know, and that might affect him now during his football. So if that's what he wants to do, I think everyone will back him and say, yeah, you've given everything to the game, and thank you.
Yeah.
Couple of
thank you.
quick texts, actually both on them. Surely Manchester United should sign Skelly. He's a top talent, one for the future, and would be extremely good to integrate into the side with Luke Shaw being injured so often. And Paul says, Kate, remember their equaliser that Fernandes scored against us, not the tackle. He's well worth the money that Chelsea are asking.
I'm not sure about that.
No, I think we've got a disagreement in this.
Katie's judging him over that red card, honestly.
I literally heard it, and I was like, on the upper tier. Should have, you know.
Katie, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, guys.
And that was thanks to Costa Express. Coming up, I'll bring you more on Marcus Rashford's return to Manchester United. Having to wait for it because he didn't play last night. But Michael Carrick did speak about him after United's 1-1 draw in that pre-season friendly with Leeds.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Get a regular Costa Express iced coffee as part of your Tesco meal deal at participating Tesco stores. Terms and conditions apply.
Dowman could be like it's like having a new player. Because surely this has to be.
How many players play on this side, by the way?
Yeah.
Tell me how many players are out there on that side where Dowman was playing on the right a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they are just stacked, caked out wide.
Do you back Dowman to have I mean, I think it was his breakthrough season last season, but he was in and out.
Breakthrough.
Yeah, I know, it's absolutely mad. But do you think that this could be a season where he's regularly starting and making a regular difference?
I think he's a special talent. I think he's at the right club. I think Arteta will, they'll have a lot of games this year, and they've obviously, Champions League as usual. You'll see him more this season than last season. That kid is a star in the making, and he looks like he's made of the right stuff, and he's very exciting every time you watch him. So when you see players like him in Rio at Liverpool, the future's very bright for the English national team, right? Without
a doubt. I think that come January, Arsenal fans might be looking back at the Vinicius Junior story and thinking, we didn't need him, because look at what Max Dowman's doing in the Premier League. Yeah. And I'm not comparing him to Vinicius Junior before people shoot me down. What I'm saying is that in Max Dowman, you have the potential of a world-class talent. And if you continue to nurture him and release the handbrake on the minutes and on the game time, and I know you're protecting him as a young player, but if you do want to play a slightly more attacking, entertaining brand of football, then Max Dowman is the man to hang your hat on, because he's something special.
No, I love the look of him, but let's not kill the kid either and put too much on him at 15, 16. But they're stacked. I mean, I know everyone's worried about the left side, Martinelli, obviously Trossard's now gone, and all those things, but I still look across their forward line and go, the Arsenal could win the league again with what they've got.
Ever fancied having a beer in the stands while watching your team at the Emirates, or at Anfield, or at Stamford Bridge? Well, this season you actually can. Drinking alcohol in the stands at Premier League games may still be illegal, but the Women's Super League is doing something different. And here's how we got there. Back in the 1980s, football had a serious image problem. The sport was plagued by violence, pitch invasions and beer-fuelled chaos. Then, in 1985, Margaret Thatcher's government stepped in. They introduced the Sporting Events Control of Alcohol Act, banning alcohol in view of the pitch across England and Wales. Since then, many fans and clubs have called for the law to be relaxed. But despite attempts to change things over the years, authorities just haven't been convinced fans can be trusted. But in January 2025, something did change. The Women's Championship, now called the WSL2, launched a trial allowing fans to drink in the stands. The reasoning? Well, fans at women's matches tend to behave differently. Less aggression, more family-friendly vibes. As a result, select WSL and WSL2 stadiums are now allowing fans to drink alcohol in view of the pitch. It's been a landmark move showing growing trust in fans and recognising that women's football is building its own culture. So could the men's game be the next to leave the 1980s behind? Well, maybe, if fans can prove they can handle a pint without pitching it at someone. Yeah, don't hold your breath. Until then, it's Bovril all around. Cheers to that.
Good morning to you. 6:34. It is Thursday, August the 13th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor alongside me, and we're with Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car and get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. That was Paolo Nutini there with 10 out of 10. I knew this would come up today. I knew it would come up today, honestly. You probably saw National League
cup, trophy, whatever it is. This week, Hartlepool lost 10-0 at home to Middlesbrough under-21s. So I just wanted to explain.
Disgraceful.
Spectacular scoreline, but it isn't, Gabs, because you know what happens. First of all, this is a trophy that we chose not to play in the last 2 years, but this season, for reasons I'm not aware of, we decided we play in it. But one of the rules of the competition is that you have to field 4 players who started in your first team in the previous game.
Okay.
Or are going to start in the next game. But effectively, 4 players who started in the first team in the previous game.
Mm-hmm.
So our first game of the season, we beat Barrow by 2-0. We named our team for this game against Middlesbrough under-21s. And we did have 4 first teamers in there.
Yeah.
Game kicked off. 30 seconds in, we substituted all 4 of them.
Wow.
Okay? So that left us with a team of 17 and 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
None of whom, not one of whom, was anywhere near the first team squad. Not the starting 11, nowhere near the first team squad. They were just all kids. Now, they came up against a Middlesbrough under-21 side who were outstanding.
Great academy, Middlesbrough.
Great academy,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Great academy at Middlesbrough. And they were, by and large, a year or 2 older than our boys as well. And consequently, they were just too good.
Yeah.
Just too good. But it's a mistake to think that our first team lost 10-0 at home.
Will they change the rules then? Now that you can't, the 4 players have to play at least 30 minutes.
No, I think it's been done. It's been done before.
Bit embarrassing though, isn't it, for the competition for that to happen?
Yeah,
30 seconds, you come off. Go and get a shower, get yourself home.
They wanted to make the competition, give the competition some sort of relevance, and that's why they had that rule in. But it's like with every rule, people find ways around it straight away, and there's no way we were going to allow.
Why are Hartlepool not interested? Is it because financially it's nothing?
No, it's
Exactly,
extra
so it's
games.
pointless.
Lots of National League sides over the years have not played in it.
Want to get promoted?
They've opted out of it. Promotion, we're away at Aldershot at the weekend, and there's no way we would risk any of those 4 players
Understandable.
being injured in what was, to all intents and purposes,
If you're paying money,
a meaningless.
if you're paying good money, it's going to help the football club. You don't mind, do you?
We might have the last laugh, because Middlesbrough's under-21s. There's a boy called Frankie Coulson. He scored 5 goals on the day. He was born in Hartlepool. If he doesn't make the grade at Middlesbrough, Frankie, you know where you can come, son. So there we go. Anyway, that was...
Clear that up.
That was how it happened. Look, it's not a great look. Don't get me wrong. It's still not a great look. But there were lots of explanations.
But they were always good when I was a kid. Middlesbrough. Youth Cup, you had some games against them.
Yeah.
Had some great players. I remember James Morrison coming out there, David Wheater.
Yeah.
I
mean, they're under 21 coach now is Mark Tinkler, who ironically used to play for us as well. So, now, Manchester United played out a 1-1 draw against Leeds United in front of 80,000 at Croke Park in Dublin last night. Joshua Zirkzee, bit of a forgotten man, but he scored the opening goal for United before Leeds equalised through Brendan Aronson. Yuri Tielemans came on in the second half of the game. Was mobbed by fans at full time for selfies after his move from Gabby's beloved Aston Villa. Ben Foster actually yesterday claimed that he could be the signing of the season. Is he right? Could he be the signing?
Yeah, I said it when he signed.
Yeah.
Jeff said exactly the same 3 weeks ago. Tielemans was our player of the season last season. Fantastic player. And Manchester United fans were a bit like, should be looking at better. Because some fans, Jeff, they want to see £100 million players. That's all they want to see. It doesn't always work like that. Tielemans will be their best signing for 30 million, a steal.
Yeah.
He gets the ball, Jeff, on the half turn. He's always looking forward. He's passing fantastic. Look at his goal in the final for Aston Villa in the Europa League. Technique. He will be a top player for Manchester United. And with Bruno Fernandes alongside him, it's exciting times.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he's an absolute steal at that price. And he's... it does. You don't need the price tag to show you're a good footballer.
Exactly.
He is a top player.
Reason why he's the captain of Belgium as well. He's so experienced, and Manchester United need options in that midfield.
Yeah. Well, they do indeed. I'm delighted to say joining us now someone live from Dublin, presenter and Manchester United fan, Beth Tucker. Morning, Beth.
Morning, Beth.
Morning, guys. Good to see you.
You too. So you got your first... Well, you got a glimpse of Yuri Tielemans in a Manchester United shirt last night. How did he do?
He was really, really good. I got a glimpse of him in the PSG game as well at the weekend, and he just had a tiny cameo. And just how clean he is on the ball, how he finds every red shirt with each pass. I really like the look of him, and I agree with you guys. I think he could be up there for signing of the season if he manages to stay fit.
Yeah, I think he will do. You know, he did have an injury problem last season, but Manchester United now need to go and bring in another centre midfielder, so you have got more options, so he's not playing every game. But what else he can do, if you're getting further forwards, Beth, he can score goals as well. He showed that with the winner, the first goal in the Europa League final.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the combination of him and Bruno Fernandes, it's going to work really nicely, because I think Bruno's carried that burden for a long time of having to always provide. And I think with Yuri Tielemans coming in, it takes a little bit of the creative burden off of him, and it allows Bruno to be a little bit more free. I just worry about the physicality in the midfield. Kobbie Mainoo's an excellent player. Andre Santos looks good, but I feel like we need that out-and-out number 6 in there to bring that physicality.
I'm with Gabby. I certainly feel like you need to recruit another central midfield player, particularly, it's not central midfield, but particularly because Mason Mount missed out again last night. Look, I feel desperately sorry for him. I'm a massive fan of his. But you just can't rely on his fitness. So consequently, I think you've got to recruit again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with Mason Mount, it's so unfortunate because if he was fit consistently, he's such a good footballer.
Yeah,
he's so good on the ball. He reads the game really well. Every single manager absolutely loves him. I've heard he's brilliant around the training ground, brilliant with the younger players coming through. There's a reason why every manager that he's played under wants to play him, really likes him. There's a reason why he keeps getting back into the Manchester United 11. Although we keep signing players and although he can't stay fit, it's because he's a good player. But yeah, if you look at his injury record, for me, Manchester United have to treat a player like Mason Mount as if he's a luxury player. If he's available, brilliant. You've got someone extra to play Champions League games. You've got someone extra to come on in the Premier League. But if I was the Manchester United recruitment team, I'd be looking at it as if he's not even really a player, to be honest, because you can't rely on him. I think for Manchester United, he's played 90 minutes once or twice, and he's been here since 2023, I'm pretty sure. I mean, that just isn't enough for a player of his quality, especially considering number 7, 240 grand a week. Like that's a first team player that needs to be playing consistently, and unfortunately, he's just not been able to do so.
Beth, what else stood out from the game? I think I heard Brian Mbeumo done very well. What did you look like defensively as well?
Oh, Brian Mbeumo, he looks so sharp. You know what? I was watching the game yesterday. I was like, he's going in my FPL team. He looks really, really good. I reckon he's going to be starting up front for United at the start of the season, especially considering Benjamin Sesko isn't back yet and playing football, is still recovering from that injury. But I think with Brian Mbeumo, United fans are super excited to see him this season, because last season I thought we saw a glimpse. I watched him very closely when he played for Brentford, and I thought he was fantastic. We saw a glimpse last season, but I think he had a few rocky patches where he was just sort of adjusting to the Manchester United team. But I think this season could be one of them seasons again. He's got it in his locker. He showed it before. He can score 19, 20 Premier League goals. He's done it for Brentford. I think he could do it for United if he gets a really good pre-season under his belt and he gets going. So he's looking very good, looking very sharp. And defensively, that's where I think Manchester United have issues. I think it's hard to judge in pre-season. Like, we've looked very good. Maguire didn't play yesterday, but he's a stonewall at the back. He's been bringing through Aiden Heaven, just a teenager, but looks, in my opinion, excellent. But I look at United's defence and I look at Harry Maguire turning 34 this season, very good player, but shouldn't really be relying on him for Premier League and Champions League. Not seen De Ligt since November. Lisandro Martinez is injured more than he is fit, as good as he can be. And then you've got Lenny Yoro and Aiden Heaven. Lenny Yoro, who really needs to have a breakout season. He's not lived up to maybe the expectation yet, but he's still young. And then Aiden Heaven, who I think has such a bright future ahead of him. But again, a teenager, Champions League, Premier League. I think the best teams and where United need to compete at, they've got that super strong centre-back pairing, and we don't just seem to have that.
Beth, completely agree with you. Thanks very much indeed.
Well said, Beth. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.
Presenter and Manchester United fan Beth Tucker was there. I am a bit surprised that they've not strengthened defensively.
Yeah, it's very odd, isn't it? Because you know it's like, Jeff, when you get the Champions League, I mean, some of the ties that you could get drawn against, like she said there, you know, Sandro Martinez, injury issues, Yoro doesn't look like all the hype about him last season. He wasn't very good, and Harry Maguire is their best defender. So even right back, Mazraoui and Dalot going into Champions League season, and you want to get top 4 again, it's not good enough.
You can't. And Luke Shaw, he had a good season last season.
Game,
it was very good. Good season last season. but he's always liable to get a knock.
Exactly, yeah. They need to get some replacements.
I think so. Still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Download the new improved app to easily manage your accounts and quotes.
The EFL back this weekend, of course. talkSPORT brings you 7 live commentaries across the network. I'll bring you my predictions for the Championship in around half an hour's time. Villa fans, we want to hear from you after last night's performance against PSG. 03717 223344. How carried away are you about the 17-year-old Brian Maggio? And what are your expectations for the coming season? You're more hopeful than maybe you were before that game? That was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Get free next day track delivery. Head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
What's going on, mate? You got Champions League football. You're selling your best players. Absolute shambles.
The financial fair play rule.
Oh, Spurs
off.
No, you're not Spurs.
Can we put some concerts in your stadium?
Well, look, you dig me out all the time last season about Spurs and Beyonce this and Beyonce that.
Now it's helped you?
Yeah, mate, we got the money. We got the cash.
Yeah. Don't make me laugh.
You're selling Morgan Rogers.
We got no choice.
70 mil.
We got no choice.
You got Champions League football.
What can you do, though, if the rules say you have to sell? Do you know what I mean? You have to sell?
You should be banned from the Champions League.
Okay, but
you should be banned.
Okay.
You sold Tillmans. You sold Morgan Rogers. Constance wants to leave. You can't sell your 3 best players and then expect to be in the Champions League. You should be kicked out.
We've signed some very good players as well. Manzambi from what's funny? Manzambi, star, Swiss international at 20 years of age.
Yeah.
We've signed João Gomes from Wolves. Scored a fantastic goal the other night against Bayern Munich. He toe-poked it, Jamie, into the corner. It was fantastic.
Come on, mate.
Garnacho as well, point to prove.
Oh, do me a favour.
So, we'll be all right. We'll be all right, man.
Garnacho.
We've got the best manager in the league.
No, I love Emery. But if you ain't careful, he'll leave.
Really?
Yeah, he'll leave.
Why?
Because he wants to win.
We won last season.
Yeah, I know, but then you've sold your best players.
He'll understand the frustrating rules.
Mate,
he's got owners.
Eventually, he'll go, what like Eddie Howe's done with Newcastle, he'll go, no, I've had enough.
Isn't that what you want? And you're like your mob and like this so-called top 6 they call. You want that, don't you? You don't want
top 6, big 6.
But you don't want Villa and Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? Being a bit of a pain, do you? You want like you can't.
Oh yeah, keep you there. You there.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor is with me 10 to 7 on Thursday, August the 13th. Brian from Liverpool says, here we go, young lad scores his first goal and he's going to play for England, go to a big club and become a superstar. Leave him alone and let him develop. Agree, Brian, but that's not going to happen. Headlines this morning, Atletico Madrid have agreed a £34 million fee to sign Christian Romero from Tottenham. Strikes everyone as the perfect fit, really, doesn't it, that? Michael Carrick spoke on Marcus Rashford for the first time last night, saying he's our player. He's come back great. He's just like any other player. He gives us something a little bit different. And after 24 hours of speculation, Miles Lewis-Skelly scored at the Emirates last night in their draw with Como. Afterwards, Mikel Arteta remained coy on whether he would still be an Arsenal player at the end of the summer.
It's a very emotional player. Remember when he did all the gestures on the pitch, so I'm not going to talk about any speculation. If there is a speculation about our players, a good sign. That means that we attract attention and they're doing a good job.
Typical though, isn't it, when we're homegrown boys, they become very attached to the crowd become attached to them.
Well, that's a natural thing to happen. We have seen that with many other players here.
Homegrown talent indeed. If they were to sell him, of course, that means that Arsenal take all of the money.
Yeah.
More on the Arsenal transfer news, including Martinelli and Konsa with Ben Jacobs at around 7:30. Let's move on to the European Athletics Championship taking place in Birmingham this week. Third gold medal last night for the British team. Matt Hudson-Smith won 400 metres gold on the track where he grew up in front of a stand that was already named after him. He told Michael Weddock afterwards what that meant to him.
It's Birmingham, I've trained here, so I know how to run on this track. It's not particularly a fast track, it's a very good training track, but at the end of the day, it's the same conditions for everyone. So 44.1 on this track, it bodes well for the rest of the season, and I'm very consistent. I know that we're building towards something special. I knew that as well. After last year, I had quite a big injury coming into Worlds, and we were starting from ground zero. So now we're burning again, and even a bad race is 44.0, and now it's time for the big drop. So we're just going from there.
And Michael joins us live now. Morning to you, Michael.
Morning, Michael.
Yeah, morning, Gabby. Morning, Jeff.
What a performance that was from Matt Hudson-Smith, because I think it was his semi-final where he totally tied up in the home straight and he blasted out from the front yesterday, and I thought the same might happen, but not the case.
Yeah, a little bit of kidology, I think, in that semi-final, because there had been kind of some rumours going around here that he was suffering with a bit of an injury. And in fact, he played on that as he crossed the finish line yesterday, because he started rubbing his hamstring, a little bit like that celebration at the World Cup in the famous sort of viral video. And then obviously realised and displayed to everybody in the crowd that he was absolutely fine. And he said he'd been driven on yesterday morning by a few reports saying that he was suffering from this hamstring injury. So it was just a bit of kidology. It came after that semi-final, as you say, where he did sort of tighten up, and then he didn't stop and do any interviews. And I think in the absence of any official comments from Matthew Hudson-Smith, the likes of me just started making stuff up about him maybe, but he was absolutely fine. 44.17, as you say, very emotional night. I wonder, when you're sprinting going full out over 400 metres, whether you get the opportunity to have a think. I'm running past the stand named after me. It's a record-breaking run for him as well. It makes him the equal most decorated sprinter in European Championships history. Also, of course, his fifth gold medal at this level, 8th European medal, makes him the most decorated British male athlete in the history of the Championships as well.
Michael, I want to ask you about the crowds. What were the crowds like yesterday? Because there's been a lot of talk this week. I had friends that have been to Alexander Stadium. I know it very well. I used to train there as a kid, and I've been there recently. It's all been refurbed, hasn't it? It's a fantastic stadium. Some of the ticket prices seem expensive. £20 parking cost, even £18.50 for a pork roll. Have they sort of got the pricing wrong with this?
Yeah, I think it's getting busier as the week goes on, but certainly there were a lot of empty seats in the first couple of days, and that's not a good look for Birmingham. Not a good look for athletics in this country at the minute, because importantly right now, London is bidding to host the 2029 World Championships. It hosted it spectacularly in 2017, and it's currently being discussed at World Athletics where to take those 2029 championships. So I know that Seb Coe is here at the moment, the president of World Athletics. They'll be looking at this. But I think you're right with the costs. If you added all those costs together and some of those seats costing upwards of 90 to 150 pounds, that's a lot of money. Certainly at this time with the cost of living crisis and everything else. If you wanted to take a family there, and then, as you say, the Alexander Stadium, a brilliant facility.
Yes, amazing.
But one that was refurbished for that great Commonwealth Games in 2022. But it's not the easiest of places to get to if you want to use something like the official park and ride. Again, there's a cost on that. The costs of things like the concessions and the food and the drink, I mean, they're kind of comparable if you were to take your family to, say, see Taylor Swift, somewhere like that. But it is still, when you look at it, pretty expensive. And when you add all of those things together, the food, the drink, the transport, and the ticket prices, yeah, it's an expensive night out. That said, there are some cheaper tickets still available, and we are expecting full houses for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the last 3 days.
Yeah, which is great because, you know, track and field when you're there, you know, there's not much like it. It's absolutely brilliant. Great performance by Emily Newnham last night as well. And I guess the star of the show later in the week is going to be Keely Hodgkinson, is she, Michael?
Yeah, well, she's already come through her first round. She's into the semi-finals, which take place just after midday later on today. She was running with a pair of sunglasses on, which we don't normally see from Keely Hodgkinson. But she said that she just enjoyed the fact that she could hide behind those sunglasses. She's got a special Great Britain and Northern Ireland vest as well, which is a little bit sparkly, a little bit different to what some of the others are wearing. So, yeah, Keely's back in action in the semi-finals along with Gemma Reekie of Great Britain and Northern Ireland just after midday. We expect her to qualify for the final. And we've got the likes of sort of Georgia Hunter-Bell still to come in these championships. And the men's 200 metres, that begins later on this morning as well.
I think as well, sorry, Jeff. I think as well, Michael, the athletes deserve it, don't they? They deserve big crowds. They deserve sellouts. You're winning golds, and you want to be celebrating with that atmosphere of a full house celebrating with you.
Yeah, I think for Matthew Hudson-Smith last night, I think so many people there that have watched his progress on that track from the age of 10 as a Birchfield Harrier. It would have been fantastic for him to have had that lap of honour with the full house. And you're right, the atmosphere in the stadium, I mean, it's a good atmosphere. I was in watching the women's 200-metre semi-finals with Dina Asher-Smith and Amy Hunt and Success Edouard. There is a good atmosphere in there, but there's nothing quite like it, as you say, Jeff. Track and field, under the lights, packed house, and British athletes doing well. And British athletes are doing well here. They're topping the medal table. It's just a shame we haven't got more bums on seats seeing the performances.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Michael, thanks very much indeed.
Michael.
Keely Hodgkinson, I think she must have bought a pair of those Eclipse sunglasses. Just wants to get a bit of value out of them by wearing them as well. But yeah, we've got some terrific sport coming up. And yeah, the crowds are disappointing. And yes, the prices are crazy, but there is still some fantastic sport there as well. Pompey Adam, regular contributor, says, Jeff, don't worry, I've had a modest wager on pools to finish in the top 3. I have faith in Lee Clark's boys. No, you don't have any faith, Pompey Adam. Top 1, you mean, because that's what counts in the National League, unfortunately. Coming up, we'll turn our attention back to the Villa. Losing to PSG in Salzburg, but making plenty of friends last night. It's all about the youngsters in that Villa team and whether there is life after Morgan Rogers. That's next.
History is going to repeat itself. No, I never go out on a limb and talk like this about Chelsea. I said Arsenal win the title for the last 3 seasons, and eventually they did. I'm going Chelsea. You Gooners, you should be fearful of Chelsea.
This is it, you see. He's been down the Wimpole clinic, and all of a sudden...
What has he been eating in the Maldives? That's what I want to know.
I don't think it's that.
Now,
Don't get me wrong.
What has he been smoking?
Do you know what it is?
He's talking absolute guff.
It's everything, no, Jay. It's everything combined.
Everything about him I hate already.
This is...
His hair, his tan...
Yeah, no,
the nonsense he's coming out with early doors. Like, he's been back for one show, and he's come back and said Chelsea are going to win the title.
Yeah, people go away. Right, I think people, as soon as you put a bit of hair back on someone's head, and look, let's be fair, that is a beautiful transplant, right? It's up there. You know when you think about footballers that have had transplants?
Do you know what, mate? I've seen signs.
It's good, isn't it?
It's all right.
It's a good transplant.
It's not bad.
And
been died.
I think he's now. It's definitely
died. He
definitely died it.
Yeah, he's
definitely died it. Of course he has. But he's now just like a new man. He's got this sort of housewife's favourite thing going on. He knows that his sex appeal's back. He knows. I can tell. He's sitting there. He's obviously been in the gym when he's been in the Maldives. He's got himself a bit of colour. He's got the beautiful barnet now.
Bit of a dilf.
This is it. Yeah. And then I was talking about him being the housewife's favourite, and he said something like this. Do you know what he said to me? He went, the problem is, if you are the housewife's favourite, it's generally the older girls. You don't really necessarily want the old. I went, you happy to be the old? Do you like the older girls? He went, no, not really.
Would you give up the chance to play for your country to become a global star of your sport and earn big money doing it? Well, that's the choice facing rugby players right now because of the proposed new R360 League. Led by 2003 World Cup winner Mike Tindall, it's already being backed by major investors. Its goal? Turn rugby union into franchises, not clubs, add some serious cash and a bit of razzmatazz. Or in their words, make the game more watchable, accessible and entertaining, especially for younger audiences. But there's been a huge pushback, a massive no way from the current game. So what exactly is R360 and why is it controversial? Rugby union is facing challenges on a domestic level right now. There's huge financial instability across even top-tier clubs. The English game has seen leading clubs like Wasps, London Irish and Worcester go out of business in the top flight. The Welsh provincial game is in total disarray too. R360 says they would remove what are easily some clubs' biggest expenses, i.e. the big stars, and therefore make more of them profitable. So the plan is to inject a new lease of life into the sport. But how exactly? Top stars of the men and women's game playing for a franchise-based league with fixtures in cities like London, Miami, Tokyo and Lisbon. Each city would host a tournament featuring all the franchises during a short 3-month season. And though no players have officially confirmed, reports suggest around 200 have signed pre-contracts, some worth up to 750 grand. And if that's the pre-contract, you can imagine where the full wages will get to. Problem is, the rest of rugby says no. In fact, no way. The national unions from England, Scotland, Ireland, France, Italy, South Africa, New Zealand and Australia have declared any player joining R360 will be banned from test selection. World Rugby's also not approved the league. Many fear it echoes football's failed European Super League, a top-down, money-driven idea that could damage the sport's traditions. So is it dead already? Well, rugby union is at a crossroads. Some may be against it, but we know others are being swayed by the cash. So will everything work itself out? Or after the European Super League and Live Golf, have we got sport's next big scandal on our hands?
Good morning, 4 minutes past 7. Thursday, August the 13th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark's deal drop. Get the new car feeling without the new car price. Discover some of their biggest savings and find your next car today. On the way this morning, we'll be building up to the EFL returning tomorrow night. The Bolton boss, Stephen Schumacher, will be with us. And the man hoping to lead Birmingham City into the Premier League, Chris Davis, will be along as well. I'll also be telling you who I think will be getting promoted this season. We'll focus on Arsenal, what business is left in the window for Mikel Arteta. Is Constant coming in? Is Martinelli on the way out? We'll speculate on that. And we'll be discussing whether the solar eclipse last night was a bit of a letdown. Before all that, though, Aston Villa fell short, but only just, in Salzburg last night.
Two-way wide left. Kvaratskhelia has rifled it into the roof of the net. PSG, with their first serious attack, take the lead in the Super Cup. Begin with an in-swinging ball. Up goes Maggio!
There you go.
The 17-year-old has scored! Remember the name! Ryan Maggio! Doué looked offside. He sculled it in. VAR is checking it. There you go. And the referee has given the goal. Only just onside. It ends in disappointment in Salzburg for the Premier League club. But for PSG, it is yet another cup in an almost overflowing trophy cabinet. PSG win the Super Cup. PSG 2, Aston Villa 1.
Yeah, Villa side that have sold Rodgers and Tielemans and Digne were also without Watkins and Constant and Emi Martinez. They had 17-year-old Brian Maggio scoring his first goal for the club up front. It was a brilliant effort by them. And, you know, Gabby, what I would have been encouraged by if I was a Villa fan was there was no sitting back. There was no,
We're not Arsenal, Jeff.
damage. No damage limitation.
Yeah, and that's what we said before the game. We said that, like, this is going to be an open game. Aston Villa do not sit back. They play attacking football, whoever they play against. If you ask PSG today, who do they fear most in the Premier League? They're saying Aston Villa. We beat them at Villa Park in the quarter-final. Yes, we went out on goal difference, goals scored by PSG. But we give them a hell of a game. And last night, you know, the goal that they scored, the winner, Matty Cash, a bit slow to get forward. And then playing Doué onside. But more shots on target, more shots in total last night from Aston Villa, and a very good performance. A lot to take out of it.
Let's get more reaction to events in Salzburg last night with the man who was commentating on the game for talkSPORT, Joe Shedden. Morning, Joe.
Morning, Joe.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Gabby. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thanks, mate. Look, I looked at the teams beforehand, Joe, and I thought this is almost a mismatch when you look at the kids that Villa have got in there. And this was a very strong PSG side that they were up against. So real encouragement for Unai Emery.
Absolutely. When you look at the PSG team, 9 of the 11 who started the Champions League final against Arsenal. This was a first choice PSG 11, make no mistake about it. And for Villa, it was anything but didn't they impress? I mean, you know, you have to look at the youngsters. I thought Maggio was outstanding. You know, a player who has obviously got a heck of a lot of potential at the age of 17. And so too was young George Hemmings, 19 years of age, 5th senior appearance. Looked a threat all night. You know, these were 2 young players who had no fear whatsoever against the best team in Europe at the moment. And I think for Aston Villa, that will give Unai Emery a lot of confidence and a lot of excitement going forward into the season when he looks at the options that he's got.
Listen, it's only one game, isn't it, Joe? But a lot of Aston Villa fans, myself as well, before today's game, we're looking and saying, you know, we need 3, 4, 5 players. What are we going to do without Tielemans, without Rodgers? But sometimes you get these young gems, don't you, who take their chance, take their moment and shine. And hopefully, the more they play throughout the season, they become assets this season, both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's been a lot of frustration, hasn't there, from Villa fans in terms of what has happened this summer with having to let Rodgers go, seeing Tielemans leave the club. Luca Digne has obviously gone to PSG. But isn't it encouraging to see the type of young player coming through at the moment? You know, when you've got somebody like Maggio, who I think for most football fans up until last night would have been something of an unknown, but Villa fans have seen him excel over the course of pre-season. When you've got somebody like him as an option to bring into potentially Premier League matches going forward this season, that's a massive boost to Aston Villa. You know, look at who else was playing yesterday. João Gomez, I thought, was neat and tidy on his debut. Boubacar Kamara, back from injury, almost feels like a new signing. And, you know, to me, it's just testament as to how good a quality coach they've got. You know, Unai Emery is one of the best in the business, one of the best in the Premier League and by extension, European football. And I think he showed a lot of that last night because they really pushed PSG close. And if you look at that game on the balance of play, you wouldn't have begrudged Villa a draw and a penalty shootout, or maybe you wouldn't have even begrudged Villa sneaky a victory at the end of it.
Yeah, no, completely agree, Joe. I just slightly alarmed with Brian Maggio. I'm just watching TV pictures at the moment. huge headline saying Harry Kane replacement. I mean, talk about heaping pressure on the boy. Look, when I look at that Villa side, I thought they played really, really well and, you know, were fearless. But obviously, Ezri Konsa not involved last night. Villa can't afford to go into the start of a new Premier League season, can they, with a pairing of Victor Lindelof and Pau Torres at the heart of their defence?
Well, it's a concern for Unai Emery, isn't it? No question about that. Ezri Konsa has been one of the outstanding centre-halves in the Premier League over recent seasons, and that's why a club like Arsenal are reportedly looking at him. You know, I think Unai Emery will be really concerned about that. Lindelof and Torres were relatively solid last night, but as you say, you know, there's not a lot of defensive cover in that central area for Aston Villa. You know, and if you lose somebody like Konsa, you know, does it make Unai Emery think twice about where the club is at in terms of its ambitions or what he's able to do with the resources at his disposal? You know, they've just come into this season on the back of winning the Europa League. Unai Emery has spoken about how he feels the club is in a new era, the possibility to win more trophies. And he's also said how determined he is that the club moves forward and that there are the resources there to push the team on. So, you know, you lose somebody like Ezri Konsa potentially, and that is a big blow, a big negative. And just on Brian Maggio again, Jeff, I mean, yes, you know, he's been touted, hasn't he, in some circles already as a potential Harry Kane replacement going forward one day. I think to heap that sort of pressure on a 17-year-old at this stage in his career is extraordinary. But what a way to start off. You know, when you're playing a match like that, you're bullying two of the best centre-halves in Europe. And he did bully Willian Pacho and he did bully Marquinhos last night. Well, it's not a bad way to start,
I think
that's for sure.
What I can see happening, Joe, is that because you can play for, obviously, Cameroon as well. You know, I went through it and you see a lot of players go through where you can play for England or you can play for an African country as well. I wouldn't be surprised me if this season he was getting a game time and scoring goals for Villa. He gets fast-tracked into the 21s, and there's already probably conversations already that will be happening with the FA and, you know, his parents, you know, choose England. The Thomas Tuchel, he's going to be watching him this season. I'm not saying he's going to be Harry Kane's replacement, but you want to definitely tie down, don't you, a player like Maggio to England?
Absolutely, Gabby. And Andy Townsend said as much on commentary duty with us last night. You know, he said that, you know, Thomas Tuchel will be watching 100%. And will be well aware of just how well this guy's performing. If you look at the game last night, I mean, he could have had a hat-trick with the chances that he had. And actually, the one that he did take was probably the most difficult chance. It's a looping ball in from McGinn. It's over the top of the defender. He's got little time to react, and he hits it on the volley into the top corner. You know, this is not any ordinary 17-year-old. You know, this is a player clearly with a terrific future. And Aston Villa will obviously be hoping that he's a big part of their future going forward. And who knows, you know, could he be a big part of England's future going forward? I think you're absolutely right. It's important that we tie him down as soon as we possibly can.
Spot on, mate.
Yep. Joe, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, gents.
talkSPORT commentator Joe Shannon there. Villa fans, give us a call this morning, 03717 222344. Are you as positive as Gabby is this morning? Did that prove to you the season's going to be absolutely fine? How excited are you about Maggio? Coming up, less excitingly, I bring you my predictions for the championship season.
talkSPORT reporter Max Scott has sent the callers crazy. He has done his top 10 clubs in Britain. Have a listen if you missed it. The highlights of it are there is no Chelsea and Tottenham in the top 10. Celtic are above Arsenal. Forest are 5th above Villa in 6th. No Rangers. So let's head to the phone lines now and get your thoughts on 03717 22 3344. Clive is a Chelsea fan, and before we say it in Clive, Chelsea is a big club for me, a big, big club. Morning, Clive.
Morning, Clive.
Morning. This guy's an idiot. I mean, he's going back saying about Brian Clough and Forest. Yeah, that's what they won then. But if you go back, he's saying, I mean, I'm a Chelsea supporter and they're a big club. But saying Man City weren't big before now is ridiculous. You remember Man City in the 60s, Franny Lee, Mike Summerby, they were a big
Colin
club.
Bell.
Always a big club.
Colin Bell, yeah.
What a player. What a player. You know what I'm saying? He's picking a little bit of history. You can't say Forest are in the top 10 clubs.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Well, when I think of Clive, when I think of big clubs, I think of support, travelling support.
Yeah,
you know,
precisely.
being up there with great players and challenging Europe. Maybe not necessarily winning it, but you know, they're big clubs for me.
That's right. Yeah, big clubs. Man City's always been a big club. Chelsea's always been a big club.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor is with me. Ryan says we never learn, do we? A young English kid has one game, and we're already hyping him up to be the next Lionel Ronaldo McPele.
Deserved.
Why can't we just leave him alone? Now, the EFL gets up and running this weekend, and talkSPORT has you covered every step of the way.
And the talkSPORT network is your home of the EFL throughout the season.
Jimenez with a header. Oh, it's brilliant. Powerful header from Raul Jimenez. And he back across goal. It's in. It's in.
and Blackburn back-to-back wins. They are back in the Championship. Bolton 4, Stockport 1. Preston North End playing wonderful flowing football.
Gotta love the EFL. Just got to.
Britain's ball in, right-footed efforts in. What a start! It's Middlesbrough that take the lead.
Lincoln get the ball into the box. Oh my goodness me! It's 1-0.
Little reverse ball in, fired into the net. Sheffield United are ahead. Looks for Birmingham, has scored! Kirungo, brilliant goal! Oh, lovely stuff from Watford.
Larin shoots, Larin scores, and as quick as a flash, Southampton out of nowhere have got a goal.
And the cross deflected goes in to give Burnley the lead. Bowen into the area. Oh, Jared Bowen at his very best.
A superb advert for the EFL.
Yeah, talkSPORT brings you 7 live and exclusive commentaries across a blockbuster opening weekend, starting with Wolves against Blackburn on Friday night. Now, it's that time of the season where I'm asked to give my predictions of who's going to go up, who's going to be in the playoffs, who's going to go down. And I have to just say in advance, okay, before you batter me, this is just an opinion, nothing more than that. And I don't give it willingly. I've been asked to do it by producer Ollie, who's a Stoke City fan. He is desperately hoping I'm going to include Stoke in the top 8 this season in the Championship. Well, am I? Top 2 go up. Remember, the next 6 now go into the playoffs this season, which is really interesting, gives a lot of clubs chances. I'm going to go for Middlesbrough to win the league. They have spent, Steve Gibson, I don't know where he keeps digging into his pockets, £36.5 million so far. A lot of money for the Championship. Will Lancashire hopefully we'll get goals from Radek Vitek, signing goal from Manchester United. They've got a couple of Americans. Carl Joseph. I think this will be Borough's year, like the manager, Kim Hellberg, a lot as well. And I think Wolves might go up automatically too. I think they might need to spend again. You've got a lot of experience in Kieran Trippier and Raul Jimenez. And you saw Raul Jimenez at the World Cup. He looks well capable of still scoring goals in the Championship, doesn't he?
100% with the right service.
Yeah. I would have changed that. West Ham I've got in the playoffs. I think they've lost too many and not enough incoming. So I've got them in the playoffs. But I tell you what, if they sign Troy Parrott and Jamie Vardy, then I'll flip that round with Wolves, you know. So, but that's an if at the moment. At the moment, I've got them in the playoffs. I've got Wrexham there as well. Spent a lot of money, and they'll keep on spending. They brought a new goalkeeper, Anthony Patterson from Sunderland. Couple of decent players as well have signed for big money. Ben Whiteman has come in, Preston captain. So Wrexham for the playoffs for me. Norwich finished last season brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly. Yeah, they won 16 and drew 2 of the last 25 last season. That's promotion form, really. Southampton lost a couple of players. They brought into mind Mubama. Didn't set the world alight at Stoke. I think a lot of Stoke fans liked him, but
lost Charles, haven't they?
Yeah, they've lost Shea Charles, big loss to them. But I think they've got enough to make the playoffs. I think Birmingham City have got enough to make the playoffs as well.
Is that because their manager's coming on later?
Yeah. No, I thought they might make the playoffs last season, in fairness. They spent £6.5 million on a young midfielder from Girona. So a lot might depend on him.
They need to as well, isn't it, with Birmingham? It's not that they need to finish in the top 8, don't they?
Yeah, and I think they will. It's a opportunity knocks. And Millwall, just because they're Millwall, and they always finish in the playoff places, don't they? So, and down at the other end, and this is the worst bit, isn't it? You never want to do this. Lincoln, I mean, they ran away. They ran away with League One last season, so you can understand why their supporters would be optimistic. Just don't necessarily see it. Charlton, sorry, boys. I know we got a lot of Charlton listeners. 6 from bottom last season. They haven't really strengthened particularly. And I'm going to offend every QPR fan.
Ooh.
I say, and I think this could be
their time.
Having said that, they've signed Tariq Lamptey, brought him back into the Championship. I really hope he does well, because he's a kid with a lot of talent, had so many injuries during the years. And Dennis Serkin from Sunderland, I think, is a good bit of recruitment from them as well. So, but I've got them down as 3rd from bottom. I hope that I'm absolutely miles out, but those are my views. You got any thoughts, Gabby?
Yeah, I think Birmingham City need to get in the top 8. I think, we speak to Chris Davis later on, he will agree with us on that. I think Middlesbrough, like you said, will be definitely up there. But I'll just look at the pressure on some of the teams as well. Southampton, what they're going to get away from home this season. You know, the abuse from their fan base is going to be quite hard for them. How do their players deal with that? Will that affect their form next season? But Wolves as well. I'll definitely back Wolves top two. Strong group of players there. Fans that are on side as well now with the team.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, an unknown quantity is their new manager. But, you know, if he settles in, I think, you know, and just out of, I think, League One, I'm not convinced by Leicester. I'm going to go for Plymouth, who had a great second half of the season. And in League Two, I'm going to go for Bristol Rovers. Garvey says Championship playoffs now a joke. A team can finish in the top third of the division, and could be in the Championship, the Premier League the next season. Laughable. Keeps the interest going, doesn't it, for more clubs? But Garvey, I do take your point. Works okay in the National League where it goes down to the 7th. Okay, it's time for this now.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Ground beans, fresh milk, real signature taste.
Once upon a time there was light in my life, but now there's only love in the dark.
Yeah, Bonnie Tyler tragically passed away. Katie Shanahan's back with us.
Hello, yes, we are talking about the solar eclipse. It was reported that the UK would enjoy something similar to 1999 when the country plunged into darkness. And we had a space expert, Andy Loud, who joined Breakfast yesterday to ramp up the excitement. He said it was going to be one of the most exciting things in the past 50 years. Well, this clip from Gavin and Stacey went viral, and it summed up everyone's reaction.
Is that it? Was that it?
Hotwood has more.
Well, I'm bitterly disappointed.
Gabs, how would you describe the solar eclipse last night in football terms?
Oh, football terms. I don't know, when you're expecting an end-to-end game, and you turn up and you see a manager park the bus, and it's boring, anticlimax. Yeah, it was honestly. I got there, and there's so many people there. People running, squashing to get the view.
Glasses out.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's going to be good. This is. Then a little peek, and I'm like, everyone's walking away now. Everyone's getting in the car and going.
And that was it.
Yeah, it was like turn to a concert, and your favourite band do one song and go.
Yeah.
Everyone's walking out disappointed. Honestly, it was anticlimax.
A bit
Gotta do
Spursy.
better. Yeah, got to do better, definitely.
Gabby, you've lived through a bit of history.
I know. I could say I was
Once
there.
in a lifetime.
I could say I was there.
You was
Greenwich
there.
Park. I was there with thousands. There was loads of people. Wow.
Yeah. Cheers and hugs.
Not really. I mean, I was with Joe, manager Joe, and he'd done a video. I was having a bit of sarcasm, and there was a guy stood next to me with his glasses on. He was giving me evils.
Oh, really?
So sarcastic about being it, and he didn't like my sarcasm, to say the least.
Well, talking of solar eclipse glasses, let's just remind ourselves of what Alan Brazil thought of them.
It's a con. Yeah, put glasses on, have a quick look, and that's it.
None of us want to go blind at 6 o'clock tonight, Al. This is
You're not going to. You're listening to all the hype again. You're not going to go blind. Be careful, but you're not going to go boom. Your eyes are not going to blow up.
Did you ever peek without the glasses, Jeff?
No, I was on a train at the time, so didn't really see that. Certainly, Southwest Rail from Winchester to London didn't go dark at all. I would say that. So I was waiting for it.
I had a peek and I nearly blinded myself.
Yeah, I couldn't help it. My eyes were a bit sore after, but I'm okay.
Do you want to give an apology on behalf of Alan Brazil for all those people that may have peeked and had that kind of sunspot like I did?
No, I will say to you that don't listen to Alan. I'll be your own person.
Right, okay.
Listen to the specialist.
The specialist.
the
Andy Loud,
opticians,
Gabby Agbonlahor.
listen to them. Don't listen to me and Alan.
A lot of people were underwhelmed. I mean, Griff in King's Lynn says, morning, lads. Total not eclipse in King's Lynn. Nothing.
Well, it gets worse because AFC Turnford in Hertfordshire had to cancel their game.
No floodlights.
Yeah,
Don't make me laugh.
cancel the game because they thought they'd need floodlights.
Oh my god!
Only for the game was meant to be played at 7 o'clock. Then they thought it was going to be the darkest period of the eclipse.
That's what I was waiting for. I was stood there. I'm thinking it's going to go dark.
Well, Spain and Ibiza and Iceland had the best viewing, but I think, us over here, we bottled it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, mate.
Can't wait for the next one, though.
2090, Jeff.
Yeah, I'll be there for that one.
You won't be on a train, will you?
No, I won't. No, I definitely won't be on a train. It's going to be pretty dark where I am, or I'll be by then. Brilliant. Katie, thank you so much. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to the latest transfer news and the future of Enzri Konsa and Gabriel Martinelli. A bit brighter than my future. That's coming next. Big thanks to Katie Shanahan there, and of course, Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Ground beans, fresh milk, real signature taste.
Who's winning the title?
Don't know. I don't know. I want to know what you think of this, because I haven't got a clue. I really haven't. I think it's one of the most hardest calls to make we've had in recent years.
The thing is about Manchester City, I wonder without Pep how different it'll be.
Yep, and if they lose Rodri.
Exactly. You wonder what it's going to be like,
Yep.
but then you never write them off. Arsenal, I think, look like the most complete team.
Gabriel injured though
This
for
is
5
true,
months.
For 5 months.
And Trossard going out. I don't like the Trossard sale. I really don't. I think he's such a big, influential player for them. I can't believe they've sold him.
I know, but then Guimaraes came on in.
Big signing. Like him a lot.
But then I also look at Manchester United and I wonder, but Chelsea, I think, Jason's right. I
Yeah.
don't think we should be sleeping on it at all.
No. We could have a 5 or 6 horse race this season.
Yeah.
That would be incredible. It really would. I don't want to see somebody run away with it.
Go on then, though. But Jason looked down the camera and delivered that it will be
Yeah,
Chelsea.
I know.
So who is it, Ben? Put your neck on the line.
I'm going to say Man United. I do. I think Man United. I think the last season's form has set into motion a style of play and an expectation of what them players have to deliver week in, week out for Manchester United.
But they've got Champions League. They're back in Champions League.
They're back in Champions League.
I think they've got enough.
I think if they can add another one or two, Man United are definitely within a shout. But they need to add 1 or 2 big uns. But the problem nowadays is if you're going to add 1 or 2 big uns, then it's 200 million quid.
Mhm.
Liverpool need a couple big uns.
However, I mean, we do know that Manchester United look like they have something left to spend.
It's not often you associate fan power with Chelsea Football Club, but one of the shining examples of it lies with a group called the Chelsea Pitch Owners. And they've proved to be the thorn in the side of owners past and present who've been dead set on moving stadiums to a larger, more lucrative piece of land. Essentially, the supporters group holds the freehold to the land on which Stamford Bridge sits. Former owner Ken Bates set it up at a time where some unruly property developers tried to evict the club from their ground. In order to prevent this, he established the CPO as a company that owned the pitch and offered the fans the chance to buy a share for £100. As well as that, they also own the rights to the name Chelsea Football Club, so if any owner wants to take them elsewhere, they can't be called Chelsea without the approval from the CPO. Now, in 2011, Roman Abramovich tried and failed to move them away from Stamford Bridge, and this has set a precedent for Todd Bowley and the current power brokers at Chelsea. They know any plan which involves moving from Stamford Bridge will require CPO approval from the now 13,000 fans who own it. There are fans who are concerned that if they stay at the bridge, they'll be left behind their domestic and European rivals who are moving to more commercially successful stadiums. But for the heritage and history lovers, Stamford Bridge is one of the iconic English stadiums, and to move away would be a grave mistake. It might not be as flashy as others, but stadiums like it have something about them that cannot be replaced. One thing's for sure, if Bowley wants to take Chelsea away from their home, he'll have to go through the CPO first.
Morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast at 7:35, Thursday, August the 13th. I'm Jeff Stelling. Gabby is with me this morning. We're both with Arnold Clark. The perfect time to upgrade your car, of course. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online.
Jeff, can I quickly just say good luck to all the 18-year-olds out there. My son is 25 minutes away from knowing his A-level results.
Nightmare.
Very nervous yesterday. Yeah. I think they've all got a party planned tonight.
How was he getting them? Was he getting them by post? Or
No, go to the school.
Got to go to the school.
Yeah, so he's going to let me know at 8 o'clock. But I'm sure there's a lot of parents out there maybe dropping their kids to school and waiting in the car, and you're like, why is it taking so long to come out?
Look, it's nerve-wracking.
Yes.
And then when you're with all your mates as well, if it hasn't gone well,
I know.
So... And my kids all got theirs by post.
Did they?
And
oh, God.
We got on really well with our postman, and we always said, please, 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 A-level results days, come to us first.
Please.
Forget the normal round, come to us first. And they were always...
There's a lot of pressure as well, isn't there, Jeff, on these kids as well, because you need certain grades to get into your first choice uni, maybe, what results you need. So a lot of anxiety for these kids. So
your son this morning, how many A-levels did you do?
3. Law, psychology and business. So,
whoa.
Yes. Gets it brains from his dad. Yeah. So I'm sure there'll be A-stars.
Good luck, son. You're going to need it.
Yes.
Okay.
Really don't need it.
Right, plenty going on in the world of transfers, in particular at the Emirates. Let's bring in talkSPORT senior football correspondent Ben Jacobs. Good morning to you, Ben.
Morning,
Good morning.
Ben. Ben, shall we start with Ezri Konsa? I'm sure Villa won't want to lose him. 2 years left on his contract. Arsenal, are they real suitors?
Yeah, they are, and keen to know what Gabby thinks, because Villa have already been desecrated. There's no release clause as per Luca Digne and Yuri Tielemans, but Arsenal are serious, despite links with Christian Romero. He's off to Atletico Madrid, 40 million euros, and Arsenal have actually already made a verbal offer, but this was a few weeks back. And there was a huge gulf in valuation. My information is that Arsenal's valuation was in and around £35 million.
Pardon?
And Aston Villa are looking for 60, 65, and maybe in this inflated market even more. And if you take the Ample Van Hecker... But ultimately, if you think about Arsenal, they'll be looking at some other defenders that have gone maybe outside the Premier League. If you look at the Villa perspective, one, they don't want to sell. Two, Jan-Paul van Hecker, 52 million. Max Lacroix, 52 million. Ezri Konsa, England international, should ultimately be more. So it's just whether Arsenal are prepared to effectively, in their eyes, overpay, whereas Villa would say 60, 65 in this market. That's 100%. Still decent value for money.
I get it, though, Ben, because he's got 2 years left, and I've said it many times, his performances in the World Cup, his performances since his first day at Aston Villa, he'll be looking at Gahey next to him. And what's he earning at Manchester City? Aston Villa can't get to those levels of 250s, maybe 300s, whatever he's earning Gahey. So he deserves that money. But Aston Villa also say, listen, we can't give you that money, but we need at least 65, 70 million. 35 is a disgrace of an offer. If you had a year left, I'd get it, Ben, but not with 2 years left.
Yeah, and by the way, when they made that offer, that was the perspective of Aston Villa. It was dismissed out of hand. So Arsenal now coming back off the back of those talks, off the back of that gulf in valuation, and they have to decide whether they're going to significantly improve their offer. Yep. And if they do, I think there's a fair chance it might happen. Jacobo Ramon at Como is another possibility, but Arsenal want to add a centre-back between now and the end of the window.
What about Gabriel Martinelli? The speculation goes on and on. I'm not too sure, unless they've got a ready-made replacement, why on earth Arsenal would want to get rid of Martinelli.
Yeah, it's a great point, and I don't think that Arsenal would sell before they add on that left-hand side, having failed to sign Vinny Jr. despite a strong push. So as we revealed exclusively on talkSPORT a few days ago, Galatasaray are now serious about Gabriel Martinelli, and the reason why is because they've not got a breakthrough in talks for Rafa Leao. And yesterday, a formal offer was sent to Arsenal of 45 million euros. Arsenal haven't responded to it yet. The expectation is they'd want a little bit more, but on the right terms and with the right replacement, they would be prepared to sell. Big question here is, does Gabriel Martinelli want to go to Turkey? And my information is he might wait and see what other offers materialise. And even if the window shuts, be happy to stay at Arsenal and fight for his place. And if Arsenal don't sign a left-sided attacker, then Martinelli can expect minutes in a long season fighting on multiple fronts. And don't forget, Eberechi Eze can play on the left-hand side and Noni Madueke can switch sides as well.
Ben, what about Chelsea giving a deadline of tomorrow night to Manchester City to pay 120 million for Enzo Fernandez? That's a bit crazy to give that deadline, isn't it?
Yeah, Chelsea want clarity. They don't want any distractions. There's a relatively tense relationship between City and Chelsea at the moment because Chelsea's perspective was obviously that Enzo Maresca left Stamford Bridge knowing that he'd get the Man City job. And then if you think of Enzo Fernandez, he was suspended for 2 games mid-season for flirting via the media with a move to Madrid. And now City is his most concrete and I think only option as it stands. And Chelsea have set a 5 p.m. deadline for Friday, saying to Man City, pay up. Otherwise, this saga is over. 120 million. Enzo Fernandez is Man City's leading target at the moment. Yes, they want Ayub Buadi as well, but they might sign 2 midfielders between now and the end of the window. And my expectation is that Chelsea are very genuine that this is the number. There's not that much room for negotiation. Of course, they would have to discuss structure. And the ball is now in Manchester City's court to see whether they're prepared to move and quickly. And I understand it from Chelsea's point of view. They don't want any distractions. Of course, there is one irony, which is when Chelsea signed Enzo Fernandez, they bid before the winter market. In the early part of the winter market, it got rejected. They were told the player was not for sale. And they kept pushing and pushing, and they signed Enzo Fernandez from Benfica with 3 minutes left of the winter window. So City would argue they're perfectly entitled to use every single second of the window, but Chelsea, trying to take control of this story, have said no. If you don't bid by 5 p.m. on Friday, there's no price. Saga over. We want a settled squad for when the season begins.
Ben, just briefly talking about midfielders, what's happening with Paul Pogba? Is there any prospect, any remote prospect we might see him back in England again?
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? So he's been offered a contract termination by Monaco, and they want him to decide by the end of this month. If he goes into free agency, he's under no deadline, so he can pick his club whenever he likes. I'm not so sure a return to the Premier League, links with Manchester United over the course of the last few windows when he returned from his ban, always a bit wide of the mark. MLS might be a viable destination, but first Pogba has to decide whether he actually wants to terminate, and that is the direction of travel.
Ben, brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, mate.
Thank you.
Couple of quick texts for you. John, who's at Deb's Ironing Shop in Wakefield, says, maybe I missed it, but didn't Manchester United play another Premier League team last night, as in Leeds United, who I think are going to be a surprise this season? And I agree with you, John. I think I've got them something like 10th. I think they might have a very decent season indeed. And an anonymous texter here, this is great, said Eclipse, said it was just like going to watch Oasis and the Salvation Army band turned up instead. Oh, I just said, don't look back in anger, son. Don't look back in anger. Right, a lot to come for you this morning on breakfast.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more in-store or online as a trade account holder and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
Just after 8 o'clock, Villa legend Stan Petrov will be here to tell us exactly how much game time he thinks Brian Maggio will get in the Premier League this season. Plus, we'll focus on Manchester United and whether or not they're just one star signing away from a serious title charge this season. That was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Want to win a brand new Ford Ranger? Just spend £100 or more using your Travis Perkins trade account to enter into the draw. T's and C's apply.
honestly, I've seen a few messages today and you go, yeah, that O'Hara and Gabby, they're talking rubbish, need to get rid of them. You know, Rory talks sense. I'm like, having a laugh.
Yeah, that was me. That was me saying that. Yeah. I've been commenting. I've been, God, those two have been terrible. Look at those two giggling away.
Brennan Johnson, listen, fair play to him. He had a little bite. And that's fine. Got no problem with a player having a bite back because it's all part and parcel of working in the media, being a footballer. You're going to take criticism. He obviously didn't like the fact we said it was crap for crap. What he didn't realise, and I'm sure...
That's weird of him, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously he's not going to like that. But, it was only a bit of a laugh. But, I get it. People are going to... You get the ump with things. I've been called crap plenty of times. Get called crap every single day of the week. Don't take it personal. All right? It is what it is. He has been crap.
Yeah, I think that's
like,
the point.
I'm sorry, but, I'm not saying he's a bad player. Anyone who plays Premier League football, anyone who does what he's done, fair play. Brilliant. Last season, Brennan Johnson was crap.
Yeah.
He would be the first to admit it. And hopefully he goes to Everton and he does all right. And Dwight McNeil goes the other way. I like Dwight McNeil. I think he's a good player. But his stats is what we were talking about on the show, me and Gabby, were crap.
Yeah.
So there's no apology needed. I know Gabby bottled it like he always does.
He blamed you. He said it was you.
He tried to throw me under the bus. Not the first time. Won't be the last. But I'll stand by it.
Yeah.
Nothing against Brennan Johnson.
I think you're right.
He's got all the attributes to be a decent player.
Yeah, I think
last
you're right.
season, he was crap.
Good morning. It's 7:48, Thursday, August the 13th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor is alongside me. So, headlines this Thursday morning. Aston Villa boss Unai Emery hopes his youth players can keep being consistent and performing at those levels. That's his quote after 17-year-old Brian Maggio became the youngest scorer in UEFA Super Cup final history, despite their 2-1 defeat to PSG. Former Barca manager and legend Xavi has been appointed the new head coach of the Netherlands. Roberto Martinez had been pretty strongly linked with that job. And beloved Gabby was in trouble yesterday. Not so much him, actually.
Me?
Is his mate Jamie O'Hara.
Yes.
And Jamie's comments on Brennan Johnson and Dwight McNeil caused a response from Johnson. Gabby apologised on air, but did Jamie O'Hara?
Got no problem with a player having a bite back because it's all part and parcel of working in the media, being a footballer. You're going to take criticism. He obviously didn't like the fact we said it was crap for crap. What he didn't realise, and I'm sure...
That's weird of him, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously he's not going to like that. But, it was only a bit of a laugh. But, I get it. People are going to... You get the ump with things. I've been called crap plenty of times. Get called crap every single day of the week. Don't take it personal. All right? It is what it is. He has been crap.
Yeah, I think that's the point.
I'm sorry, but, You know, like, I'm not saying he's a bad player. Anyone who plays Premier League football, anyone who does what he's done, fair play, brilliant. Last season, Brennan Johnson was crap.
Yeah.
He would be the first to admit it. And hopefully he goes to Everton and he does all right.
If me and Jamie went to court, right, Jeff, he's going down, and the judge is saying, Gabby, sorry for wasting your time, off you go. We'll cover your costs. I've done nothing wrong. I read out Dwight McNeil and Brennan Johnson's stats last couple of seasons. Not been great, not enough goals or assists, both of them. And then Jamie went one step too far and says it's like getting crap for crap on about the deal, which is disrespectful from Jamie O'Hara.
Yeah, it's not just disrespectful, it's wrong. Because I remember Brennan Johnson, this season, he didn't have a great season, and he would admit that himself. But when he was at Forest, he was brilliant. He was absolutely outstanding. He was as far from crap as you possibly
Dwight
could
McNeil
be.
as well.
And Dwight McNeil is a lovely footballer, I think. Delivers a beautiful ball. So here's a surprise. I think O'Hara's wrong. Wow. Has that happened before? Anyway, look, and well done to Brennan Johnson for having a dig back, by the way, as well.
Let's see more of that.
Absolutely.
talkSPORT socials loved it. They want more of that.
Yeah. I'm not so sure we want more of it, Gabby. Right, Arsenal have wrapped up their pre-season preparations. A draw against Como at the Emirates. Miles Lewis-Skelly got the goal for the Gunners, assisted by Gabriel Martinelli, by the way. Will either of them be there at the end of the transfer window? Caps off a mixed bag of summer results from Mikel Arteta's side. Picked up some wins, showed a few defensive lapses along the way. For more on this, and delighted to say we're joined by former Arsenal star Perry Groves. Morning, Perry.
Good morning, Perry.
Morning, boys. I tell you what, I'd be called a lot worse when I was playing. Trust me, it's not.
So have I.
The thing is, though, James right what he said there. You don't become a footballer, let alone professional footballer in the Premier. You don't become a footballer professionally if you're not any good. All they've both had is they've had lean spells, and they just need a swap. That's it. And you hope that it ignites them. It's as simple as that.
Look, as far as the Gunners are concerned, Perry, a few indifferent results in pre-season. Does pre-season worry you at all?
No, Jeff, to be honest, because of the World Cup, you're getting different players coming back at different times. They have to manage their minutes now. There's players that only play 30 minutes of a game, and then obviously they have the hydration break after half an hour, and then you make loads of changes. Then there's loads of changes on 60 minutes. And what it is, if you're a new manager, pre-season means a lot more than what it does if you're Mikel Arteta, someone who's been there for coming up to like 7 years, because a new manager wants to implement the style, philosophy, see what the players are like. The players are trying to impress the new manager. But this is just all I'm looking at it. I don't want our players to get injured before the first game against Coventry. That's it, basically.
Yeah, I agree, Perry. Perry, when you look at this Lewis-Skelly news, when I first heard it, I thought it has to be fake news. But then when you look into the options they've got, obviously last season, we were struggling to get in the side with Hincapié, a centre-half playing left-back at times with Calafiori, now another midfielder, Guimaraes has been brought in. Do you see this as real, that maybe Arsenal look to get some money in for Lewis-Skelly?
The only way that I look at it, Gav, is because he's a homegrown player now, because of these ridiculous PSR, FFP rules and whatever, squad cost ratio rules, it becomes pure profit. But Arsenal don't need the money. It's not as if they're struggling for revenue. And I read an interview yesterday about Lewis-Skelly saying that he wants to stay and fight for his place, which I think is brilliant, because he wants to be. He's not a left back. He was put in at left back making his debut because Arsenal was short on bodies, and he played really well, coming into midfield. Now he's a centre midfield player. And as you said there, look, you can't have too many good players. And by all accounts, talking to a few people behind the scenes, his attitude is really good, in training, and, he's quite a laid back character. And I love the fact that he said that he wants to stay and fight for his place. And if the season that Arsenal are going to have, with all the games that are going to be there, you're going to have 65 odd games. If you've got a choice between Zubimendi, Declan Rice, Guimaraes, Lewis-Skelly, Mourinho can play, obviously, at deeper role as well, then you can rotate. And Declan Rice won't be running on fumes, in the last sort of half a dozen games of the season.
Just looking at last night, Perry, obviously Miles Lewis-Skelly got the goal, and it was a Gabriel Martinelli assist. Sometimes I think Gabriel Martinelli gets a bit of a bad press. I mean, he got a dozen goals in all competitions last season, 10 the season before. He always weighs in. Would you like to see him stay at the Emirates?
We need an upgrade on the left-hand side, Jet. We need somebody who is very, very good in 1v1s, in tight situations when teams sit deep. And he is a brilliant squad player, whereby when he comes in, I think he's the archetypal sort of, they're not, I was going to say subs, but that's disrespectful on it, is they're impactors now, aren't they, or finishers.
Yeah.
So I think he's better coming off the bench when there's 25 minutes, half hour to go, when the game spreads out a little bit. Because when he plays on the left-hand side, the criticism of him, because he's right-footed, he cuts in too much and he goes into loads of bodies. But you mentioned about the goals he scored last season, Jeff. Most of them were all in the Champions League. And it suited him because the Champions League is far more open than what the Premier League is, when Arsenal are playing against teams, because teams actually think that they can beat Arsenal.
Perry, I want to ask you about last night. Was it good to see an English team give PSG a game in the final?
To be fair, same score, Gab, wasn't it? I think, was it the same score? Yeah, it was the same score, definitely, wasn't it? You got beat 2-1 and we got beat 2-1. So there's not going to be an asterisk by going, or Aston Villa played really good football. Right? But from Villa's point of view, it's only positive. Obviously, it's only positive stuff, but the way that Villa went about their business and the chances they created, let's be honest, they had 4 or 5 what you call really clear-cut chances. Yeah. But when you're playing against PSG, you have to take your chances. You have to be clinical, because they're going to take theirs. And there's a little bit of sympathy for clubs like Villa and Newcastle. I said it before, Gab, mentioned about the rules, because basically there's no chance of a Newcastle or a Villa winning the Premier League with these rules that are in place. No chance.
Agreed.
Yeah. Perry, thanks very much. Mate. Oh, by the way, Perry, call them subs, not finishers, mate. They're definitely subs. Oh, we've lost him. Perry Groves there, former Arsenal star, of course.
Finishers.
Well, yeah, I know. I think it was rugby, wasn't it? Rugby union were the first ones to use that phrase, finishers rather than subs. But
you know what you are.
I'm not.
You're a sub. You know what you are.
Exactly.
Let's not try and change the name to make you feel better.
Yeah.
I know it's not nice being called a sub, but you're a sub, mate.
Yeah, definitely subs, not finishers. 2 minutes away from 8 o'clock, coming up, we'll be joined by an Aston Villa legend in Stilian Petrov. He'll tell us just how excited Villa fans should be about the young players that we saw last night against PSG. If you want to have your say, 03717 223344 is the number to call.
Watching Chelsea pre-season, I'm making a statement now. There is no reason why Chelsea cannot win this title. In fact, I'm going to say it. Chelsea win the title.
Oh!
Chelsea win the title. There is something about Chelsea. There is something about what we have got a cheat code. I'm not proud to say this, but we can go and win the title for a number of reasons. One, have you seen our front three? João Pedro, Morgan Rogers and Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer's at a rest. He's been absolutely flogged. João Pedro's had a rest. Our midfield, the recruitment at the back, looks like almost certainly we're going to be playing a 3 at the back with someone called Xabi Alonso that knows how to win a title. 1 game a week. We saw how beneficial that can be when Conte took over Chelsea. Went to 3 at the back. Chelsea win the title. History is going to repeat itself. No, I never go out on a limb and talk like this about Chelsea. I said Arsenal win the title for the last 3 seasons, and eventually they did. I'm going Chelsea. You Gooners, you should be fearful of Chelsea. Yes, you're favourites, and I get it. And you've got an unbelievable team, and you've proven why you're the title holders, because you deserve it. But I've got to tell you, there's a cheat code, and that cheat code is Chelsea playing 1 game a week, and we have a manager in Xabi Alonso who knows how to win a title. There are only 2 managers that can win this title that have won a title in the past, and that's Xabi Alonso and Mikel Arteta. Liverpool, new manager. Andoni Iraola doesn't know how to win a title. Spurs De Zerbi. What's De Zerbi won? What's he won? Where's the noise?
It's a noise. There we go. There we go.
There you go. Carrick. What's he won? There you go.
There we go.
Football fans all have stadiums we love, but do any of us have a pitch that we love? It might sound like an odd question, but pitches can be different sizes with big consequences. Why is that? And what are the actual rules? Back when association football started, pitches could be up to 100 metres wide and 200 metres long. That's longer than Ellen Road. Not the pitch, the stadium. Anyway, UEFA wanted a standard across Europe for international matches, which became 105 metres long and 68 metres wide. But some clubs had been rebels, not intentionally, but because of the stadiums. Take Highbury, for example. It was 5 metres shorter and a metre narrower, meaning away sides had a challenge to adjust. White Hart Lane was exactly the same. And actually, when Spurs temporarily moved to Wembley, they asked the FA to shorten the pitch. The FA, very offended by the sacrilegious suggestion, said no, which in fairness could have actually benefited Tottenham because when they moved into their shiny new stadium, the pitch was exactly the same size as Wembley's. Today, Forest Pitch at the City Ground is a big one. It's 2 metres wider than any other pitch in the Premier League. But the smallest of all, Craven Cottage, just 100 metres long and 65 wide. No excuse for not tracking your man. There are a couple of crazy outliers in Europe too. At Napoli's home ground, the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, the pitch is a whopping 110 metres long. At least they don't play on a slope like Newcastle do. There's a 2-metre incline on the pitch at St James's Park. And don't get me started on the old pitch at Yeovil too. It used to be a slant of 2 metres corner to corner and across the halfway line. So UEFA have their standards. So do the FA, but they do give pitches in England some wiggle room. Pitches can be anywhere between 90 and 120 metres long and between 45 and 90 metres wide. I mean, the rules state you can't have a square pitch, but in theory you could have one that's 91 metres long and 90 wide. Imagine rocking up to play a Sunday League game and the pitch is basically a square. So there are rules and regulations on sizes, with a UEFA standard that roughly everyone follows. But as we all know, size doesn't matter, does it?
Very good morning to you. It's 4 minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Thursday, August the 13th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor, and Arnold Clark's deal drop. Get the new car feeling without the new car price. Discover some of their biggest savings and find your next car today. Gus says Manchester United could be done with a number 6. How about Raskin from Rangers? He knows Tillemans well from Belgium. It wouldn't cost a fortune, maybe 25 million, which is sort of interesting.
I can do better than that.
You think so?
I'm a physical.
Yeah.
After.
Yeah, I think I'd probably agree with you there.
Yeah, it's good player though.
Sai says, Gabby, how can Villa win a European Cup, get Champions League football, but still get rinsed of their best players?
Because there's the rules. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Villa aren't selling because they need the money. If these rules weren't in place, Villa's owners wouldn't be selling anybody.
Yeah.
There's the answer, mate.
For anyone who's just getting their A-level results, you hope they are what you wanted. Any word yet?
Not yet, mate. Not yet. Nervous. I'm nervous myself.
Yeah, your lad's nervous. You're nervous as well. Yeah.
Scary times.
On the way for you this morning, we'll be diving into the EFL ahead of the new season, which kicks off tomorrow, right here on talkSPORT. The Bolton manager Stephen Schumacher and Birmingham boss Chris Davis will both be joining us. We'll talk Tottenham and their summer business after Cristiano Romero agreed a move away from the club. Jed Spence looks like he's on his way out as well. And after former Man United goalkeeper Ben Foster said he thought they could win the Premier League, we'll give you our thoughts on that. But now, European champions PSG have started their season with another win. But my word, Aston Villa made their lives difficult.
The Super Cup. It's live on talkSPORT. Aston Villa against Paris Saint-Germain.
Two-way wide left. Kvaratskhelia has rifled it into the roof of the net. PSG, with their first serious attack, take the lead in the Super Cup. Looking with an in-swinging ball. Up goes Maggio!
There you go.
The 17-year-old has scored! What a moment on his Aston Villa debut. Remember the name, Brian Maggio. Doué looked offside. He's curled it in. VAR is checking it. There you go. And the referee has given the goal. Desiree Doué has scored. Only just onside. PSG have won the Super Cup. They are the cream of the crop in European football. It ends in disappointment in Salzburg for the Premier League club, but for PSG, it is yet another cup in an almost overflowing trophy cabinet.
Well, Joe Shannon said, remember the name. You won't be able to forget the name because it's plastered all over the back pages of the press in England. 17-year-old Brian Maggio, who got the Villa goal in that 2-1 defeat. He signed for Villa for £10 million in January. Hasn't been able to play due to registration issues, but he's here. He announced himself on the world stage last night in a very good Villa performance. Here's what Unai Emery said about Maggio after the game.
I wanted to play with young players as well and watch their progression. And more or less, Brian, he started playing in Walsall, scoring 2 goals, 1 goal like today. He continued scoring goals in Porto. He scored. No, Porto was Luca, the young players, and against teams, Real Sociedad he scored. Brian, and he played today because he was in precision, showing us his capacity to work in our idea, being as well demanding, because as well it's not scoring goals, it's as well how he's defending, how he's getting the commitment and discipline tactically, and he was doing, and today he did again.
Unai Emery on 17-year-old Brian Maggio. Delighted to get more on the game from last night now by saying a very good morning to a proper Aston Villa legend. Yes. Another one. Stilian Petrov. Morning, Stan.
Morning, Stilian.
Morning, guys.
So look, Stilian, what did you make? We'll talk about Brian Maggio in a moment, but what did you make out of Villa's performance overall? Did it pleasantly surprise you?
Yes, I've really enjoyed it, to be honest. It was really good. A lot of energy at this stage of the pre-season. It looks like Unai Emery wants the team to be prepared, to be ready. I know the Paris Saint-Germain haven't trained that long, but I thought Aston Villa and everybody who's got the chance yesterday played really well. Hemmings looked really promising. I mean, Brian Maggio, is he really 17? Yes. Wow. Listen, it's great. It's great to see. You can see that you've got so much potential. Really good back to goal. I mean, Gabby played that position. You know how important it is. Scored a great goal. Had a couple more chances. But overall, I think Aston Villa are looking in a good place at the moment.
Stilian, what's it like for a midfielder? You know, you've got a striker like Maggio. You know you can play the ball into him. Any opportunity, he's going to hold the ball up and he can set you off for shots as well outside the box. I'm sure he's got a bright future this season.
I don't know, Gabby. John Carew was never moving, so I thought... No, Listen, having a striker with that kind of capability to hold the ball, to play the ball, to link up with the midfielders, it's a dream comes true. Honestly, as a midfielder, you don't have to even look. You just have to play to his feet. You can make runs. You can make late runs when he can create space for you. But the main point for you is that Maggio yesterday, what he done is whatever he get to his feet, he plays a wide and he gets in the box. And that's what is goal for a striker. You go in the box and you score goals. And that's what he's done. And he could easily score a hat-trick in the Super Cup final.
Yeah. I was really impressed by George Hemmings as well, Stillian. But how much do you see those two playing in the Premier League this season?
A lot, I think. I think Hemmings yesterday showed that. I mean, he's been in at Villa for a while now. He knows the ropes. He knows how Unai Emery's work. He knows the demands, and I don't think that'll be a problem for him. And yesterday, he looks like he's in the right place. He played really well with a great confidence. He was driving with the ball. He looks sharp. He looks quick. I mean, when you have a player like that, you have to play him. And Maggio, I mean, what competition for Ollie Watkins and Tammy Abraham. That's what Unai Emery wants. He wants his strikers to be competitive, to compete against each other, but also to support each other. And now you have a strong competition.
I think as well, Stillian, even if you're 17, like Maggio, and 19, Hemmings, if you're young enough and you're good enough, you're ready, aren't you? Lukaku made his debut in the Belgian league at 16. Look at Wayne Rooney, 16. And I think they'll get better and more experienced every game they play.
I totally agree. I think when you play in a team like Aston Villa, as a striker, it doesn't matter the age. I know that sometimes people talk about the experience and can he hold the pressure? It seems like he can hold the pressure. It seems like he can embrace the pressure. Mm-hmm. The good things for Maggio is the Villa creates chances. And this is important for a striker. He will miss chances, but he will also score goals. And this is the great development for the young striker, having chances and having the opportunities to play. And he will definitely play a big part for Villa this season.
Stillian, at the other end of the field, how important is it that Villa hold on to Ezri Konsa?
Huge. I mean, they've let two key players, Morgan Rogers and Yuri Tielemans, part of the team. And sometimes you have to hold back and make sure that other key players stay in place. I mean, Martinez, Konsa, Ollie Watkins, this is the players that they have to keep. Sometimes you can let some key players go, some quality go. You can bring energy, you can bring youth, but you need players to guide them. And I think Konsa has shown that he can do that.
Brilliant. Stillian, always a pleasure to talk to you, mate.
Thank you, Stillian. See you soon, my friend.
Gabriel, can you come back to Birmingham now?
I'm back Monday, Stan. 5-a-side, I'm there.
Thank you.
I'm back.
See you guys.
Thanks very much indeed, Stillian. Didn't ask me, did he?
Can I say, Jeff, I got my son just messaged.
Yeah.
He got A star, A.
Oh, wow. Sensational.
Incredible. So A star in law, A star in psychology, and A in business. Wow. So proud of him.
That is it. Where does he get his brains from?
I don't know. I need to do a DNA test. Probably. One day of his mind.
Sorry, what's his name, Gabby?
Gabriel as well.
Oh, Gabriel, well, congratulations, mate. A star, incredible. A. Brilliant.
Well done,
absolutely brilliant. And anybody else has got their results this morning, they've gone well. Congratulations to you. If they haven't gone well, by the way,
it's okay.
It's not the end of the world. It really is not the end of the world. Ryan can be cutting sometimes. He's texted, he said, see, this is how you can tell whether a club is big or not. If they lose a big game, are they criticised or mollycoddled? Aston Villa are being mollycoddled despite losing, which means they are not a big club. So take that. Coming up with Gabby's son just getting his A-level results, and he's pretty triumphant. Business, psychology and law. We'll find out how Gabby would have got on in those subjects.
A star.
No. Because, do you know what I'm not buying, Gabby? I'm not buying this whole, Victor would have been a problem. I don't know if he would have been Vinny would have taken the number 7 shirt, would he?
No.
We don't know.
I don't think that, but, like, Vinny Jr.'s character, like, he's coming to Arsenal, he wants Ballon d'Ors, do you know what I mean? Like...
What's wrong with that?
No, but I'm saying, and also, he's coming in on a lot more money than other players. If you're Saka and Rice and Ryan and Gabriel and Saliba, and he's coming in... Triple what you're earning.
Massive causes.
Well, if you've won a couple of Champions Leagues, right, and the league is running out your ears, then
as far as the other players are concerned, that doesn't matter.
Why not? Why does that not matter?
They're the players who just won you the Premier League.
But that's the player. But that's the marquee signing. Bruno G cannot be our marquee signing. He can't. We need a statement signing. That's what I would like.
Don't need a statement signing. You don't need any particular signing. You'll win this Premier League without it. And, people will say, strengthen from a position of strength. Well, just ask Liverpool fans what happened when they won the league, and they strengthened with people like Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz.
Do you know what my issue is that I do think we're going to win the league this year, and I think we're stronger. But I think of the fact that when you're in these kind of positions, like a Man City were when they first won the league, when they beat United on goal difference, you have to capitalise. You have to know that your future depends on this 2, 3, 4 year period.
Yeah, very good morning to you. Congratulations to those of you who got fantastic exam results, A-level results. Commiserations to the others. Just trust me, it's not the end of the world. Quick text, morning lads, that Maggio kid reminded me of a young, fit, strong Emil Heskey, a raw talent for me. That's from Greeno, the talkSPORT presenter. He used to be Greeno the postie, but he's done his last postie shift and reckons he's the next talkSPORT presenter. So look, huge morning for students up and down the country, including Gabby Agbonlahor Jr., who's just got his results in law, business and psychology. A star, A star, A for Gabby
Anyone
Jr.
need a lawyer?
Aha, yeah, well done, Gabriel, well done indeed. So, to find out if Gabby does need to get a DNA test, we thought we'd quiz him on those subjects. So, quiz music, please.
Oh, here we go. Are they easy? DNA test easy, get done quick. I'm thinking to get it done this afternoon.
Right, look, we got a question on business, psychology,
God.
question on law.
Sorry, son.
So can you live up to your son? So first up, business.
Oh, no.
Can you name, Gabby, 5 types of businesses? And I don't mean Boots, John Lewis, that sort of thing.
Jeff, don't make me laugh. What have you ruled out there?
Not names of businesses, you know. You can't have Boots, you can't have John Lewis, you can't have the Co-op. Well, actually, you could have the Co-op.
You've got the retail business, marketing business.
Not now. It's.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, Jeff.
No. What we're looking for here, Gabby, is we're looking for sole traders, partnerships, limited liability companies, corporations, and cooperatives, which I know is exactly what you're about to say, mate.
Okay, I'm going to pass on that.
Psychology. This is an easier one, much easier one for you.
Go on, then.
What is the name of the biggest part of your brain that acts like a supercomputer? At least in some cases it does.
Part of your brain? No idea. No A, B, or C either, Jeff. Come on.
No, it's straightforward.
This is tough.
It's the cerebellum.
Oh, okay. That was a tough one. Okay, law. I know law. I watched all the documentaries.
Okay. Well, if you've seen
Johnny Cochran,
any courtroom dramas,
OJ did it.
You'll know the answer to this. Okay. What are the
OJ did it.
What are the wigs that judges wear in a courtroom made from?
Them. What sort of question is this? I don't know.
What do you think it's made of?
I don't know. No idea.
No.
I can't even guess.
I didn't know this. I had a horsehair.
I was going to say that. I was going to say horsehair as well.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to give me like Jeff, I like law. I watch a lot of law documentaries.
Yeah.
So I think I'll be a good lawyer.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, son.
I don't think I'll be employing you as my brief somehow, Gabby. If I ever need.
You pay up front as well.
Yeah. No. Brilliant. But I'm just reading the story, bizarre story. Actually, try and find a bit more about this. Fulham were playing Malaga yesterday, and I think Alvaro Arbeloa was sent off. It went to a penalty shootout. This is stupid, isn't it? These games that go to penalty shootouts.
No matter if you lose.
And Fulham, by now, because the game's running late, and Fulham have got a flight to catch, so they refused to take part. I'm told, we might get a different version. Refused to take part in a penalty shootout. So the Malaga players took penalties into an empty goal.
God's sake.
So that's the story anyway. Try to get more on that.
Couldn't Fulham just fly the next day? You know?
Yeah.
In the morning?
But some people are harsh, aren't they? Dan, that's you, mate. That's you. He said, "You're right, Jeff. It's not the end of the world. Look at Gabby."
Thank God for football.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Exactly. Right, let's get the latest odds with Coral and Dave Stevens.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Steve-O, good morning to you.
Morning, Steve-O.
Do you remember getting your A-level results?
Do you know what, Jeff? Vaguely, but it's a long, long time ago. So no, not really. Look, congratulations to all those, and there'll be students out there that really want their university of choice, and the grades are important. But it's very easy to say it's not the end of the world if you don't get them. But well done, Gabriel Jr.
Yes, fantastic.
Adoption, was it adoption, Gab?
Well, I said to him, before any bonuses are paid, I need a DNA test just to make sure. You know, I've not been looking after someone else's kid for 18 years, Steve-O, so we'll see, mate.
Well done, fantastic. Just going back to that penalty shootout, what I want to know, Jeff, we've got to find out, did any of the players miss? In fact, there was an empty goal.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Sorry.
Got a bit more on that. I mean, Arbeloa was sent off after protesting during the course of the game. Fulham walked off without taking penalties. Malaga have confirmed that penalties were not in the contract. And had there been a penalty shootout involving both sides, Fulham would have missed their flight. So that's the story from that game. Look, let's concentrate on the EFL, shall we, for a moment or two. Steve-O, I gave my predictions in terms of the championship earlier on this morning. I've got Middlesbrough winning it from Wolves in second place, but how do they bet?
Yeah, I mean, to the surprise of no one, West Ham are fairly warm favourites to win the championship, bounce straight back. Jarrod Bowen staying, big boost for West Ham. That's 7-4, Wolves 5-1, and then it is Middlesbrough 8-1, Jeff. Burnley 12, Southampton 12. And I know you've got Chris Davies coming up, haven't you?
Yeah.
Birmingham. Birmingham are in there at 20 to 1. Obviously, Gab, we are the shirt sponsor at Birmingham.
You keep telling us.
And we're excited about the season ahead. But joking apart, the one thing we really are enjoying with that is we started it last year, Jeff, where we donated £500 for every home goal scored by the men's and women's team to the Birmingham City Foundation. Raised over 40 grand last year. And we're repeating that this year. So does some fantastic work in the local communities, which you'll know well, Gab, coming from Birmingham. So we're excited about that. But Gab, we heard Jeff's tip on Borough. Who's your tip to win the championship?
I think Wolves will. I really do. I feel like the fans are on side now. New managers in, and got some exciting players, experience as well. I feel like Kieran Trippier and Jimenez in there, and I just think they're strongest equipped as well.
They're 11 to 8 to be promoted. Again, that would be the aim at the start of the season. Then Middlesbrough 2 to 1 to be promoted. Down the bottom end, I'm always reluctant to go too far down the bottom because obviously Portsmouth are quoted in the relegation betting more than promotion. But Lincoln are the team that have faced the toughest task. They're 4 to 5. Charlton 11 to 8. 3 to 1 Preston. Did I hear you say QPR, Jeff? You think? Which might be the 11 to 2, so plenty of teams sort of shorter than them in the betting.
Yeah,
but we know how difficult that championship is.
It's wide open. It really is wide open. I've long had a soft spot for QPR, so I hope I'm wrong on that. Yeah. Look, European action tonight. It's a big night for Rangers, isn't it? And Derek McInnes in particular. They're going to their second leg, 2-1 behind against Jagiellonia. What chance of them turning that round?
Yeah, well, apart from Hearts, and look, they're 5 to 1 to get a consolation win at home to Benfica. The other 3 Scottish teams are in good shape, we think. Rangers are 4 to 7 to win this game in 90 minutes, 4 to 5 to progress, but they do trail 2-1, as you say. And then of the other teams, again, hopefully Hibs and Motherwell are in pretty good shape. Hibs are 130 on to qualify. They lead 2-1. And Motherwell currently 1-1, I think, aren't they, against their Finnish opponents? And again, they're long odds on 1 to 3 to qualify. So that's what matters is getting through to the next stage at this stage of the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry. Have your odds changed on Villa to finish in the top 4 now?
Well, I'm about to say, Gab, we've got to touch on it because you talk about teenagers getting A-level results today. Not something Brian Maggio presumably is concerning himself. I mean, monstrous physically, isn't he? I mean, he's got so much going for him. And it's look, reasons to be cheerful this morning, Gab. George Hemmings was superb, 100%. I thought.
He was. He really
Maggio gives me like the vibe of Lukaku. Made his debut at 16, didn't in the Belgium league. Big, strong for his age. I said to Jeff earlier, Steve, I feel sorry for the 13-year-old 4 years ago he was playing against.
That's a very good
crushing
point.
Them.
he look, and let's not forget that was a top class PSG defence last night. That wasn't a second tier PSG side. Look, has it made any difference to Villa's odds? Bizarrely, Gab, no. They were 40 to 1 for the title. They're now 66. So I'm really not quite sure.
Well,
I don't know.
You are Birmingham heavy, aren't you? So I'm not surprised, Steve.
Gab, I'm a big fan of Aston Villa, and like I say, reasons to be cheerful because George Hemmings, I thought was every bit as impactful as Maggio. So
yeah, he was. He was excellent.
Yeah,
Steve, thank you very much indeed.
Cheers, fellas.
Top man, Steve.
Yes. Andy's texting. He says, "Isn't this meant to be a sports show? Surely not telling us how many ticks the kids have got for their schoolwork."
Oh,
that's from Andy, who clearly did not get any A levels.
I apologise
for
mentioning it.
That was a look at the latest odds with Coral 18 plus gambleaware.org. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to Manchester United and whether Ben Foster is right to say they're in the title race.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Max Dowman could be like having a new player.
What's that talent?
Because surely this has to be
how many players play on this side, by the way?
Yeah.
Tell me how many players are out there on that side where Dowman was playing on the right a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they are just stacked, caked out wide.
Do you back Dowman to have... I mean, I think it was his breakthrough season last season, but he was in
15,
and out.
Breakthrough.
Yeah, I know, it's absolutely mad. But do you think that this could be a season where he's regularly starting and making a regular difference?
I think he's a special talent. I think he's at the right club. I think Arteta will... they'll have a lot of games this year, and they've obviously, Champions League as usual. You'll see him more this season than last season. That kid is a star in the making, and he looks like he's made of the right stuff, and he's very exciting every time you watch him. So when you see players like him in Rio at Liverpool, the future's very bright for the English national team, right?
Without a doubt. I think that come January, Arsenal fans might be looking back at the Vinicius Junior story and thinking, we didn't need him, because look at what Max Dowman's doing in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I'm not comparing him to Vinicius Junior before people shoot me down. What I'm saying is that in Max Dowman, you have the potential of a world-class talent. And if you continue to nurture him and release the handbrake on the minutes and on the game time, and I know you're protecting him as a young player, but if you do want to play a slightly more attacking, entertaining brand of football, then Max Dowman is the man to hang your hat on, because he's something special.
No, I love the look of him, but let's not kill the kid either and put too much on him at 15, 16. But they're stacked. I mean, I know everyone's worried about the left side, Martinelli, obviously Trossard's now gone, and all those things, but I still look across their forward line and go, Arsenal could win the league again with what they've got.
It's not often you associate fan power with Chelsea Football Club, but one of the shining examples of it lies with a group called the Chelsea Pitch Owners. And they've proved to be the thorn in the side of owners past and present who've been dead set on moving stadiums to a larger, more lucrative piece of land. Essentially, the supporters group holds the freehold to the land on which Stamford Bridge sits. Former owner Ken Bates set it up at a time where some unruly property developers tried to evict the club from their ground. In order to prevent this, he established the CPO as a company that owned the pitch and offered the fans the chance to buy a share for £100. As well as that, they also own the rights to the name Chelsea Football Club, so if any owner wants to take them elsewhere, they can't be called Chelsea without the approval from the CPO. Now, in 2011, Roman Abramovich tried and failed to move them away from Stamford Bridge, and this has set a precedent for Todd Bowley and the current power brokers at Chelsea. They know any plan which involves moving from Stamford Bridge will require CPO approval from the now 13,000 fans who own it. There are fans who are concerned that if they stay at the bridge, they'll be left behind their domestic and European rivals who are moving to more commercially successful stadiums. But for the heritage and history lovers, Stamford Bridge is one of the iconic English stadiums, and to move away would be a grave mistake. It might not be as flashy as others, but stadiums like it have something about them that cannot be replaced. One thing's for sure, if Bowley wants to take Chelsea away from their home, he'll have to go through the CPO first.
Good morning. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. Right, let's focus on Manchester United for a few minutes, shall we? They drew 1-1 against Leeds in front of 80,000 in Dublin last night. Leeds have had a pretty decent pre-season, by the way, as well. But Matt Carrick spoke after the game saying Man United are stronger than last season. And their former goalkeeper, Ben Foster, was alongside Shaban yesterday. He thinks they could surprise a lot of people.
We could have a 5 or 6 horse race this season.
Yeah.
That would be incredible. It really would. I don't want to see somebody run away with it.
Go on then, though. But Jason looked down the camera and delivered that it will be Chelsea.
I know.
So who is it, Ben? Put your neck on the line.
I'm going to say Man United. I do. I think Man United. I think the last season's form has set into motion a style of play and an expectation of what them players have to deliver week in, week out for Manchester United.
But they've got Champions League. They're back in Champions League.
They're back in Champions League.
I think they've got enough.
I think if they can add another one or two, Man United are definitely within a shout.
Another 1 or 2 players in Man United in with a shout at the title. What do you think, Gabby?
No, I think Champions League will take a lot out of that squad of players. I look at right backs, Mazraoui, Dalot, not good enough. Centre backs, they need cover there as well. Shesko, listen, he done okay last season, double figures. He's got to be at it this season. They've got a very good squad of players, Jeff, but if they don't get 2 or 3 top players in certain roles, I don't think they can fight for the title. I think top 4 again and get out of the group stage of the Champions League will be a very good season.
Yeah, I mean, they've not been too busy in the transfer market, to say the least. They've brought in Yuri Tielemans, they've brought in Andre Santos. Ben Foster thinks one of those is the signing of the summer.
I still think Yuri Tielemans is the signing so far.
What a bit of business that is.
What a bit of business.
Yeah.
Honestly, I genuinely still think I'm watching a load of transfers happen and, Tottenham spending a lot of money and Arsenal just spent a lot of money. I still think Yuri Tielemans is the signing of the summer so far. For 30-odd million quid, whatever it was, he is a ready-made, good-to-go starting 11 player. And I think if you can spend £30 million on a ready-to-go starter, it is worth every single penny.
Yeah. And I agree with him. I think Yuri Tielemans is going to be one of the signings of the summer. But when I look at that midfield, talent is Tielemans and Bruno Meno and Andre Santos. That's just too thin on the ground, isn't it? They need more than that.
Players get injured as well. And where's their real defensive midfielder? I know Andre Santos has been brought in for that role, but he didn't pull up any trees at Chelsea, did he? Where's their, got Bouba Kamara. You look at Anderson, Gravenberch. Zubamendi, Rice and Guimaraes can play at Arsenal. Do they really have that player, Manchester United?
Yeah.
No.
Well, they were interested in Carlos Baleba, weren't they, for a long time last season. Now, he didn't have a great season last season. Whether his head had been turned or not, I suspect he won't cost as much now as he would have done a season ago. Do you think there's an argument that maybe they should take another look?
They definitely should do. I'm sure I heard a week ago, has he got an injury, Jeff? He's out for a little bit as well. I know teams still sign players with injuries because they know they'll get through them. I really like him. When he had his best season 2 years ago, left-footed, energy, some of the tackles he was putting in, driving through midfield as well. I think it'll be perfect for that defensive midfield role for Manchester United. But can Brighton afford to lose another player, Jeff? They've lost too many.
Yeah, it seems like he is pretty determined to go. My other issue, you mentioned some of the defensive issues there. It looks to me like they're going to be so reliant on Harry Maguire again. It's Harry Maguire, by the way, who was at one stage deemed to be surplus to requirements almost at Manchester United. Can they rely on Maguire again?
I think they can because he's a top defender. But like I said, players get injured. You know what? Is he 34 now? 35? Maguire he's going to pick up little knocks. I look at Heaven. I think he's a talented defender, but still so young. When I've watched him in games, he's looked a bit laid back on the ball and you can get at him. Yoro, a lot of hype when he was brought in. For me, didn't look like a top defender last season. I know he's still young. He can get better. He has to have a better season. I look at Lisandro Martinez. Injury problems again with him. And yes, he done well at the World Cup, but I've not seen that form when he's been at Manchester United. And then De Ligt, well, injuries galore. Will he be the same player when he finally does come back, whenever that will be? So I think they need a top centre-half, a top right-back, and a top left-back, and a top defensive midfielder. You say 4 of those positions, if they get those players in, then you start talking about title challenge. But until then, nowhere near from.
I mean, they are going to be a threat going forward, though, aren't they?
Oh, yes.
You know, obviously there's Bruno in there, but when you've got Cunha and Bomo as well, okay, Šeško, not everybody's convinced.
Diallo is a top player.
Yeah, and Diallo, and of course, it's like a new signing. They've got Marcus Rashford back, and increasingly it looks like he will have a part to play for United.
Yeah, and what's going to happen here, Jeff, with Marcus Rashford is Michael Carrick would have spoke to him and said, listen, I like you. You know, I want you back involved. You got the number 14 now. It's a very good number. But you have to do the hard yards. These fans, they're raring to go. If you're not tracking back or you're not celebrating goals, you're not smiling when you score, bring back the Marcus Rashford that Manchester United had for many years. And the Marcus Rashford that was playing at Barcelona, at Aston Villa, show that you want to put the hard yards in. If I give you 20 minutes in the first game of the season, be happy that you got on, and then force your way into the starting lineup. There's no reason why you can't. Yeah. Still a top player, and I think he's got a lot to play in Manchester United season next season.
Of course, the other big question about Manchester United, and it's not really been touched on at all in the build-up to the season, is the manager himself.
Yeah,
Michael Carrick, inexperienced at Premier League level, got the job on the back of a brilliant run of results last season. I felt they couldn't do anything but give him the job. Now, will he cut the mustard this season?
I hope he does. You want an English manager to do well, but the problem with a lot of Premier League managers this season, Jeff, is there's a manager who's just left a big club, will probably want to be back in management in the next few months, sitting there waiting for the call, Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe, yes, he probably needs a rest. It's been a tough 5 years for him at Newcastle, but you know what managers are like, Jeff? They have 2 or 3 months off and they're like, okay. So when you know a manager's ready and available like Eddie Howe, managers like Carrick, Alonso, all the top clubs, they need to be getting results definitely before November. Otherwise, Eddie Howe will be itching to get back involved.
So, look, Gabby, Ben thinks that they could win the league.
No.
Where do you have them finishing?
I think top 4, 100%. I don't see them challenging for the title, though. I see Chelsea probably finishing above Manchester United. Just that one game a week, Jeff. People don't realise the amount of injuries you're going to get with Champions League games. There's so many more games now. I look at Chelsea finishing above Manchester United.
Yeah. I've got them down as 4th this season. Luke says, as a Man United fan, I do think pre-season is looking positive. I agree. And they've got some exciting young talent like Shea Lacey and the Fletcher boys coming through. I hope they get some League Cup games and minutes elsewhere. We won't win the league, he says, but I think we'll make it hard work for whoever does. Nicely put, Luke. A lot of love for you and your lad, by the way, with his A-level results. Andy says, why can't Gabby big up his son? Well done, lad. And Andrew says, congratulations, Gabby and Gabby Jr. My daughter's got exactly the same results. I suspect my results were similar to Gabby. So I haven't stopped beaming since. Cost me a fortune, mind you, as both did better than expected I set the bonus rates.
That's what I did, Jeff. I set the bonuses. I said, this is for an A star, this is for an A, this is for a B. And he just sent me an invoice to send him ASAP because I think a lot of the 18-year-olds are having a good night out tonight, Jeff.
Oh, well, they deserve it as well because they have been through a lot, put a lot of hard work in, and then the wait.
But
the suffering while you wait for those results. Goodness.
I have messaged him. Now start looking for jobs. You know what uni you're going to? Get yourself a job ready for your first
Which
unit.
uni does he want to go to?
So he wants to go to Manchester.
All right.
Maybe Bournemouth as well. He's going to choose the one he wants to go to. But I said to him, listen, you are working, mate. Like, none of this. You know what he said to me, Jeff? Oh, when you do law, I've been told by my teacher that law, there's a lot more work that needs to be done. So it's hard to, get a job as well on the side. I says, mate, you're working. 3 days a week, get a job. That's going to cover your groceries and everything else you need.
Brilliant. Yeah, my daughter went to Manchester Uni, so good uni, I think. No question. Still to come on breakfast.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more with a Travis Perkins trade account and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
It's all about a certain 17-year-old this morning. Brian Manjo has been compared to Lukaku amongst other strikers after his goal last night. So Villa fans, how excited are you by him? How much could he play this season? How hopeful are you after that performance last night? 03717 2233. 4. Up next, though, we'll build up to the EFL, which gets underway this weekend. We'll be speaking to the manager of newly promoted Bolton Wanderers, Stephen Schumacher. That was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Spend £100 or more at any Travis Perkins Hire or Benchmarks branch as a trade account holder, and you could win a brand new Ford Ranger. T's and C's apply.
What's going on, mate? You got Champions League football. You're selling your best players. Absolute shambles.
The financial fair play rule.
Oh, Spurs off.
No,
you're not Spurs.
Can we put some concerts in your stadium?
Well, look, you dig me out all the time last season about Spurs and Beyonce this and Beyonce that.
Now it's helped you?
Yeah, mate, we got the money. We got the cash.
Yeah. Don't make me laugh.
You're selling Morgan Rogers.
We got no choice.
70 mil.
We got no choice.
You got Champions League football.
What can you do, though, if the rules say you have to sell? Do you know what I mean? You have to sell.
You should be banned from the Champions League.
Okay, but
you should be banned.
Okay.
You sold Tillmans. You sold Morgan Rogers. Constance wants to leave. You can't sell your three best players and then expect to be in the Champions League. You should be kicked out.
We've signed some very good players as well. Manzambi from what's funny? Manzambi, star, Swiss international at 20 years of age.
Yeah.
We've signed João Gomes from Wolves. Scored a fantastic goal the other night against Bayern Munich. He toe-poked it, Jamie, into the corner. It was fantastic.
Come on, mate.
Garnacho as well, point to prove.
Oh, do me a favour.
So, we'll be all right. We'll be all right, man.
Garnacho.
Well, we've got the best manager in the league.
No, I love Emery. But if you ain't careful, he'll leave.
Really?
Yeah, he'll leave.
Why?
Because he wants to win.
We won last season.
Yeah, I know, but then you've sold your best players.
He'll understand the frustrating rules.
Mate,
he's got owners.
Eventually, he'll go, what like Eddie Howe's done with Newcastle, he'll go, no, I've had enough.
Isn't that what you want? And you're like your mob and like this so-called top six they call. You want that, don't
big
you?
Six.
You don't
top
want
six, big six.
But you don't want Villa and Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? Being a bit of a pain, do you? You want like you can't.
Oh yeah, keep you there. You there.
Very good morning to you. It's 8:49, Thursday, August the 13th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. My name is Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor is alongside me. Some headlines. PSG are remaining tight-lipped on Bradley Barclay's future following their 2-1 victory in the UEFA Super Cup against Aston Villa. Former West Ham forward Mikel Antonio is training with Watford in his bid to return to football after a 5 months absence. That's interesting news. And pre-season wrapped up for Arsenal with that draw against Como. Afterwards, Mikel Arteta was asked if the Gunners are done in the market or if there's more business to come.
The margin to improve. There are very few players in the market that are available to do that and bring that to the club. But again, we are actively looking to improve that, and we're going to try.
Whether there's more business to come or not for Arsenal remains to be seen in the market for Ezri Konsa. So we understand that Galatasaray have bid €45 million for Gabriel Martinelli. Now, EFL is back this week, of course. Bolton, it's a big occasion for them. Back in the Championship after a 7-year wait. They bolstered their squad in the last couple of days with season-long loan signings of Ryan Hardy and defender Lewis Brunt. That's just been confirmed. Discussing the preparations of the season live now is Bolton head coach Stephen Schumacher. Morning, Stephen.
Morning, Stephen.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Gabby. You okay?
Yeah. Look, mate, congratulations on getting up. You did it the hard way through the playoffs. The playoff final was May the 24th. 3 weeks and a bit after the others have finished. So you're last through the door. Has that been a disadvantage?
I'm not sure, Jeff. I don't think so. I think the market this year has been relatively slow anyway, with everything that's been going on with the World Cup. What it did give us is a shorter pre-season. We only had 5 weeks in pre-season with the players and 5 competitive pre-season games, which, if I'm honest, I kind of enjoyed. The short pre-season was better. Pre-season obviously serves a purpose, but when the real stuff starts, that's when everyone starts to get excited. So that's kind of the only disadvantage. We've had 1 week less than everybody else to prepare, but we're ready to go.
Stephen, you signed Ryan Hardy from Wrexham on a season-long loan. Very talented striker that you had at Plymouth as well. How important is he going to be this season?
Yeah, you know what it's like, Gabby. Any decent team who wants to do well and be successful, they have to have strikers that know how to put the ball in the net, and Ryan is certainly one of them. He's a player also, as you mentioned, that I've worked with before. I've tried to sign him since I've left Plymouth a couple of times and I haven't managed to do it because he's a profile of a striker that I really like and one that suits our team. And as I said, mate, his goal record speaks for itself. The 2 seasons he's played in the Championship, he's got double figures. So for us to be able to bring him to this club, I think is a really good signing.
Oh, you see, when you say that about a player you played under, a player you've managed before, it's very common, isn't it, for managers that they like a player and they might move clubs, but they try and get that player back because it's about character as well, isn't it, of players? When you sign somebody, you need to know exactly what they're like off the pitch as well.
Yeah, it plays a huge part, especially when you haven't got a massive budget where you can afford to make mistakes with players who you might not necessarily know about. So when I've got the opportunity to work with good players that I've worked with before, I know what their characters are. They also know how we work, and if they've been successful with us at previous clubs, then it's easier to convince them to come and play for you again because they understand the system, they understand the non-negotiables, and as you say, the most important thing for me is that the good people who add something to the dressing room.
Spot on, mate. You brought in Lewis Brunt as well, but as you just said there yourself, Stephen, it looks like there hasn't been a lorry load of money to spend. How difficult has that been for you?
Yeah, it's a challenge, Jeff, but and it's a different challenge to one that Bolton Wanderers has had over the last few years because we would have had one of the biggest budgets in League One over the last 4 or 5 seasons, and that brings a lot of expectation. And then when you step into the Championship, then you've got probably the second lowest budget, which brings another added pressure, but it's still pressure all the same. And what we've got to try and do is just make sure that you try and recruit the players. I said it's going to give you a chance to do well. Now, we feel as though we've done that this year. We've brought in some Championship experience. We've brought in some good young players that have got a lot of potential. And hopefully we're not done in the market either. We still know that we need to strengthen in the forward areas in particular. And hopefully we can get that done in the next few days.
What's the goal this season? Is it staying in the Championship? I mean, a club like Bolton should not be in League One. I remember playing against Bolton in the Premier League. I mean, such a fantastic football club with a big fan base. Is it about staying in Championship this season and then trying to maybe get into the playoffs next season?
Yeah, that's definitely the case, mate. Yeah, and as I say, that's not us trying to be negative and trying to say no, we lack ambition or anything like that. But we've waited 7 years to be back at this level, and the most important thing is that we're having this conversation at the start of next season, and we're still talking about Championship football. So we want to try and consolidate. Spend our money wisely, try and build as a club, because as you say, Gab, it's got the potential and the resources, if we can stay at this level for a few years, to go and kick on again.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Well, I thought last season, I mean, obviously your first game of the season last season was against Stockport. You lost 2-0. Your last game of the season last season was against Stockport. You won 4-1. So maybe that's a sign of the progress you made throughout last season, Stephen.
Yeah, Jeff, it was a really interesting campaign in League One. As I said, we were one of the favourites to go and get promoted. It was a really good race between Lincoln and Cardiff and ourselves for a long period of the season. Lincoln, in the second half of the season, were unstoppable. Nobody managed to beat them, and Cardiff were one of the most talented squads. But we just hung in there as best as we could. It was a competitive league last year, and to win it at Wembley, everyone tells me it's the best way, but it was definitely the most stressful way to do it. But thankfully we got there, so the objective was achieved to get in the Championship, and we want to go and enjoy this season as best as we can.
Brilliant. And look at the fixtures, and look, I know it's impossible to tell, Stephen, impossible to tell, but your first three games, Preston at home, QPR away, Lincoln at home, you'd probably have taken those because it's a chance to get off to a good start, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's a brilliant game for our fans in particular on the opening day, our local derby. I think Preston logistically are the closest team to us. So straight away, 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday afternoon, local derby. Doesn't get much better. It'll be a sold out stadium, we think. So yeah, and we're really looking forward to it. And then every game, as Gabby knows and everyone understands, is so competitive in the Championship. It doesn't matter who you play. Everyone can beat everyone, so we're excited.
You see, even like you said there, last season, League One, such a competitive league. League Two, competitive, and even the Championship this season.
Yeah.
You look at the teams that have come down, and you got the Middlesbroughs and the Southamptons that are going to be fighting against the go up, the Birmingham Cities. Every game is going to be tough, isn't it, this season?
Yeah, it is, but again, that's why we've worked so hard to play these games. Like the start of last season, I was talking to the players about what our objective is and where we want to try and get to as a club. And this is the exact reason why, because every stadium that we go to next year, every game that we play in, you turn in up and you think, this is a proper game against a proper team with a coach who's going to test you to your limit. And it should, if that doesn't excite you as a player, then nothing will. So we can't wait to get going.
I'm really interested you say that, because obviously we love the EFL. We're really looking forward. But as a manager, honestly, do you look forward to it, or are you slightly apprehensive?
Well, the last 5 pre-season games have been brilliant because you really enjoy them because they don't really matter. But Saturday's game was at Sheffield Wednesday. I enjoyed that game. I thought we did well in the Carabao Cup. We just obviously didn't manage to get through. But this is where the real stuff starts. This is our bread and butter this season in the league. And as you say, the Butterflies will definitely be going, Jeff, on Saturday, I'm sure.
Brilliant. Hey, Stephen, wish you well, mate.
Speak very well, mate. Good luck.
Cheers, lads. Have a good day. Thank you.
You too, mate. You too. The Bolton Wanderers manager.
Speaks well, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, he's got a good track record, you know. Yes. I mean, he really does have a good track record. And he did brilliantly to get up last season. I fancied Stockport in the playoff final against them, but I was miles off it. For more EFL build-up, make sure you check out the talkSPORT Daily Podcast today, whenever you listen to your pods. talkSPORT brings you 7 live and exclusive commentaries, of course, across this weekend. Up next, though, we're going to concentrate on Aston Villa and whether last night's performance against PSG proved that everything is going to be okay this season. 03717 223344 is the number to call to have your say.
History is going to repeat itself. No, I never go out on a limb and talk like this about Chelsea. I said Arsenal win the title for the last 3 seasons, and eventually they did. I'm going Chelsea. You Gooners, you should be fearful of Chelsea.
This is it, you see. He's been down the Wimpole clinic, and all of a sudden...
What has he been eating in the Maldives? That's what I want to know.
I don't think it's that.
Now,
Don't get me wrong.
What has he been smoking?
Do you know what it is?
He's talking absolute guff.
It's everything, no, Jay. It's everything combined.
Everything about him I hate already.
This is...
His hair, his tan...
his hair. Yeah, no,
the nonsense he's coming out with early doors. Like, he's been back for one show, and he's come back and said, Chelsea are going to win the title.
Yeah, people go away. Right, I think people, as soon as you put a bit of hair back on someone's head, and look, let's be fair, that is a beautiful transplant, right? It's up there. You know, when you think about footballers that have had transplants.
Do you know what, mate? I've seen signs.
It's good, isn't it?
It's all right.
It's a good transplant.
It's not bad.
And I think he's now. Yeah, it's definitely
died.
He's definitely died.
Yeah, he's
definitely died. Of course he has. But he's now just like a new man. He's got this sort of housewife's favourite thing going on. He knows that his sex appeal's back. He knows. I can tell. You know, he's sitting there. He's obviously been in the gym when he's been in the Maldives. He's got himself a bit of colour. He's got the beautiful barnet now.
Bit of a dilf.
This is it. Yeah. And then I was talking about him being the housewife's favourite, and he said something like this. Do you know what he said to me? He went, the problem is, if you are the housewife's favourite, it's generally the older girls. You know, you don't really necessarily want the old. I went, you happy to be the old? Do you like the older girls? He went, no, not really.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go, always.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've scoured the planet to find out. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try playing in a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle at the world's northernmost professional club. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the 97-98 Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on a windswept cliff in the Faroe Islands. In Euro 2000 qualifying, Craig Brown's men were taken to fishing village Toftir. Kevin Gallagher called the pitch a cowfield and the wind like Pitodry on a bad day. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time, leading to these absolute scenes, and still one of Scotland's most embarrassing results.
Daft little ground, silly game. Off.
But away trips don't come any tougher than a lung-busting schlep up the Andes to face Bolivia in La Paz. But now the Bolivians have taken home advantage to another level. The country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Grass doesn't even grow up here. Bolivia have not lost here yet. The longest unbeaten run in any professional league ever belongs to Red Star Belgrade, or Crvena Zvezda if you must. They've gone 7 years without defeat at the Rajko Mitic in Serbia's Superliga. Their fans are pretty intimidating as well, but they're not as loud as this mob. Galatasaray's Ali Sami Yen Stadium's officially the loudest in world football. In a derby with Fenerbahce, Galatasaray fans set a Guinness World Record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead, and pretty tough to carry out your manager's instructions when you can't even hear them. However, our most intimidating away day is in Wales, where cameras can't enter and players can't leave. HMP Prescoed. This prison team was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Early June 1939, Germany, always a tough place to go to.
Good morning, 9:05, Thursday, August the 13th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Gabby Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark's deal drop. Get the new car feeling without the new car price. Discover some of their biggest savings. Find your next car today. Between now and 10, we'll be talking to the Birmingham City manager, Chris Davis. He joins us ahead of the new EFL season. They got Sheffield United on Saturday evening. You're going to hear it live on talkSPORT. They've got a pretty tough first few
game now, isn't it?
Well, I think the first 7 or 8.
Yeah.
You know, pretty tough. But again, at this stage of the season, you don't really know what is going to be tough and what isn't.
How good are teams?
You know, yeah.
Could the bigger games be good to get out of the way?
Exactly. Yeah. A little later, we'll talk Tottenham. Christian Romero on his way to Atletico Madrid. Jed Spence seemingly on his way to Inter. Have they sold them too cheaply? But right now, have Aston Villa found a new superstar?
Begin with an in-swinging ball. Up goes Banjo!
There you go, there you go.
The 17-year-old has scored!
There you go.
Can you believe it? What a moment on his Aston Villa debut. Remember the name, Brian Banjo.
Probably the hardest chance he's had out of the lot. But boy, didn't he finish it well. Well played, young man. He's had a storming first 45 minutes.
The defender with him is not even looking at the ball. He's so petrified of Maggio.
Correct.
But Maggio's got his eyes on the ball, and it lands directly on the volley, on his foot, into the roof of the net. It's brilliant.
The thing that impressed me the most, his facial expression didn't change. Whatever he missed, kept going. In the end, he scored a brilliant goal.
You know, he looks ready. He's of a physical size that you wouldn't expect. It feels to me like he will get plenty of games now.
Well, he's just 17, so he doesn't look it. Let's be brutally honest about it. Been scoring goals in pre-season for Villa. Got one last night against PSG. Missed a few as well, but kept going, kept getting in the right areas. Born in London, was unable to play for Villa last season due to registration issues. That's been sorted, and I suspect we're going to see a lot more of him. Aston Villa legend Stilian Petrov joined the breakfast show earlier. He said this about the Villa striker.
I mean, Brian Maggio, is he really 17? Yes. Wow. Listen, it's great. It's great to see. You can see that you've got so much potential. Really good back to go. I mean, Gabby played that position and know how important it is. Maggio yesterday, what he done is whatever he get to his feet, he plays a wide and he gets in the box. And that's what is goal for a striker. You go in the box and you score goals, and that's what he's done. And he could easily score a hat-trick and, you know, in the Super Cup final.
Yeah, look, I mean, don't get me wrong, Gabby. I thought he was brilliant. I thought George Hemmings was excellent.
Yes, agreed.
That's why I'm just a bit worried about so much hype for the boy after one performance.
Oh, yeah, I get that. I think most Villa fans, we've got some callers coming up, would agree that, you know, losing Rodgers, losing Tielemans especially, needed some good news out of last night. They were scared. We were all scared that maybe we lose 3-4-0 and we should have won the game really with the chances we had. And sometimes, Jeff, it's not the big money signings that end up being the star players. We signed Manzambi for 60 million. Maybe someone like Maggio and Hemmings become better players than him this season. So sometimes the youth and the youngsters coming through are the ones that the club rely on.
Well, it was great to see them being given their opportunity by Unai Emery, that's for sure. Let's hear from some Villa fans. Ben, you're first up. You're a Villa fan. Morning, Ben.
Morning, Ben.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Gabby. Just want to call Gabby out a little bit, really, because he's sort of represented us Villa fans that we're a bit negative going into the season, that we're not happy with the business being done with Garnacho. It's total opposite, mate. Like, the business feels joined up. We've moved some older players on, some players we didn't want to lose, like Tielemans, but Emery's regenerating this squad, which he took it as far as he could go. He won us a trophy. Like, there's nothing to be worried about. And these kids coming through, Maggio's not going to be in every week. There's Ollie Watkins still there. So I see what you're saying about a bit too much too soon with him, but he's not going to be playing every week. He's going to come in, he's going to come out. He's got the right manager to do that. There's 4 or 5 still to go. And to be honest, while I don't want to lose Ezri Konsa, even if we were to lose Konsa, I've no doubt that the club have got a plan anyway.
Yeah. Listen, I don't speak for all Villa fans. I speak to Villa fans I hear, and myself as a Villa fan, I feel losing Rodgers, losing Tielemans, big losses. Can Manzambi live up to expectation? Hopefully so. Can these youngsters come in and do a job? Hopefully so. But any team losing 2 of your top players are going to be worried.
Of course, 100%, you're right, but what you're doing is you're trading a £120 million player for a lad that shone at the World Cup for a lesser nation, who shone against us for Freiburg in a really quite a crap team. And you've got potential there, but you've kept the core of that team.
Mm-hmm.
People like Tyro Mings in the background, what a leader for these young lads. Like, this isn't a time to be worried. It's a regeneration, but this team will go again.
Ben, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ben.
I mean, I would argue you've lost the core of your team in actual fact, because you've lost Digne, you've lost Tielemans, and you lost Morgan Rodgers as well, and you may lose Conster, in which case you haven't kept the core. You probably lost the core in truth, but it's good to hear optimism. That is,
of course,
sure. Ish is a Villa fan. Let's find out if Ish is optimistic. Morning, Ish.
Morning, Ish.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Gabby. How you doing?
All well, mate.
Good. Are you as optimistic as Ben about Villa's prospects this season?
Absolutely. I think, Gabby, how exciting is it to see Maggio play and the result of being able to register him this season as well? It's just something that's finally gone in our favour. But I think we need to be a bit careful now, because I know we've been linked to Nicholas Jackson. Is that something that we probably need to put on the shelf now? Because having Jackson come into the team, either Watkins or
Maggio.
So I would need to cash in, before the.
Oh, look, Ish, I'm sorry, mate.
I'm not surprised.
We've lost the line there.
I don't get signal anyway in Birmingham, so I'm not surprised, mate. I feel for him.
Sorry, Ish, mate. Let's move on. Ray's a Villa fan. Morning, Ray.
Morning, Ray.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Gab. Gab, thanks for what you've done for my club over the years.
No problem,
Appreciate
mate.
it.
Thank you.
I'd just like to carry on from the other callers, really, about the positivity.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to stop mentioning Gabby's favourite word of PSR, because it's the rules. We can't do nothing about it. But what we can do is we can build a new stand, which we're doing. It's like a building site down there at the moment, 50,000+. Brilliant training ground, top manager. And I think we've just got to be so positive, because there's so many good things going on at our fantastic football club.
What do you think about everyone's talking about him? I mean, he's been a star in pre-season, hasn't he? 4 goals in pre-season. Brian Maggio. Do you think he'll get good game time this season?
I think he will, because I'm not sure Tammy Abraham's the answer as a sort of a backup to Ollie. Ollie was fabulous at the end of last season. He had a bit of an injury or a bit of a bad spell, but he finished the season on fire. So yeah, and I think there'll be a few new faces coming in, Gab, and there's so much to be positive about. We've got one of the best training grounds. The ground is just being built, the warehouse. So we're trying everything we can within the rules to try and improve our income so we can spend more.
Yeah,
well said, mate.
Look,
Ray.
And upwards.
Yeah, I think everyone would agree with you, Ray, that you've got most people would agree, you've got an outstanding manager. You've got any fears at all that if you keep having to sell players that he might become disillusioned?
I think he knows the parameters, Jeff, if I'm being honest. He's a very intelligent man, and he understands that, where we are at the moment. Whether we'll ever bridge that gap, we just don't know. But, you get what I call lazy journalists or pundits like O'Hara. Tottenham have signed a couple of players and they're going to win the Champions League. You've just got to be realistic. And, Gabby would have known this. I know it watching the Villa every week that this manager, he's here for this project, and the owners and him are so close. We're seeing the proof's in the pudding, isn't it? And we're seeing that now with winning a trophy, being in the top 6 every season. So, and I don't see any reason why we can't be in the top 6 again and have a good cup then.
Yeah.
Lovely. Nice to hear the optimism, Ray. Yeah, a lot of optimistic Aston Villa fans after last night, that is for sure. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to, well, actually, one of the callers mentioned them, to Tottenham and whether they're doing good business in this window.
talkSPORT reporter Max Scott has sent the callers crazy. He has done his top 10 clubs in Britain. Have a listen if you missed it. The highlights of it are there is no Chelsea and Tottenham in the top 10. Celtic are above Arsenal. Forest are 5th above Villa in 6th. No Rangers. So let's head to the phone lines now and get your thoughts on 03717 22 3344. Clive is a Chelsea fan, and before we say it in Clive, Chelsea is a big club for me, a big, big club. Morning, Clive.
Morning, Clive.
Morning. This guy's an idiot. I mean, he's going back saying about Brian Clough and Forest. Yeah, that's what they won then. But if you go back, he's saying, I mean, I'm a Chelsea supporter and they're a big club. But saying Man City weren't big before now is ridiculous. You remember Man City in the 60s, Franny Lee, Mike Summerby, they were a big
Colin
club.
Bell.
Always a big club.
Colin Bell, yeah.
What a player. What a player. You know what I'm saying? He's picking a little bit of history. You can't say Forest are in the top 10 clubs.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Well, when I think of Clive, when I think of big clubs, I think of support, travelling support.
Yeah.
You know, been up there with great players and challenging Europe. Maybe not necessarily winning it, but you know, they're big clubs for me.
That's right. Yeah, big clubs. Man City's always been a big club. Chelsea's always been a big club.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor, almost 9:20. Bit of a setback for Newcastle yesterday in pre-season. I'm always sceptical about pre-season games, I really am. But they lost 3-1 to Everton. Put out a decent side. It contained the likes of Lewis Hall and Sven Botten, like Chow, Joe Linton-Wisser, Willow Sewler, Anthony Elanga, they all played. Harvey Barnes scored for Newcastle, but they were 3-0 down by then, so that's slightly concerning. New manager Matthias Jaisler spoke to the media after the game and admitted his side have some work to do before their first Premier League match against Liverpool next weekend.
For sure, we cannot be on the peak. This is clear. We're just working now a couple of days, it feels like, together. And Liverpool is already next week, so we use every day. That's the only thing we can control in the best possible way to making progress, and the same will be then also on the transfer market scene. Hopefully that there's also progress.
Yeah, it was a bad day at the office in some respects, but you've got to take these things with a pinch of salt, just as you do the fact that they beat Valencia in a pre-season friendly. You know, it
doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Jeff,
really matter.
It really doesn't matter. Do you want to be unbeaten in pre-season, then lose your first 5 of the Premier League? I'd rather lose every pre-season game 3-0, and then first game of the season, okay, this is where it matters. Just had the Bolton manager on there. He's like, no pressure, results don't matter pre-season.
Yeah.
You do look at performances. You don't want players making too many errors. You're looking at fitness. How sharp are you? I thought Tyreek George looked very sharp yesterday for Everton. So relax. Don't look into these results, Newcastle fans. Judge the manager and players on their first 5 or 6 games of the Premier League season.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You're going to lose games, you may as well lose.
Exactly.
Let's turn our attention to Spurs and their transfer window, and some really interesting names coming in, obviously. Sandro Tonali, Mateus Fernandes, Jean-Paul Van Hecker, Andy Robertson, Marco Senesi, they've all come in. A couple of players going out. Christian Romero, off to Atletico Madrid, reported £34.2 million. And Jed Spence could be off to Inter for as little as £25 million. European football expert Andy Brassel told talkSPORT Spurs fans need to be realistic about just how much they will get for Spence.
Of course, a lot of Spurs fans moaning online about it's not a lot of money. But, you know, he's not been a first pick for Spurs, has he? He's been someone who has given everything when they've been in real trouble at the bottom of the table, and, you know, fair play to him for that. But I think we're expecting an unrealistic price to be tacked onto him off the back of a pretty good World Cup. I don't think he's a better player than Denzel Dumfries, who he's going to be replacing. Look, he can't get past Pedro Porro, and, you know, he's not turning up on the left-hand side if Destiny Udogi's fit. It's fair enough in terms of value. I think it kind of works for everyone. You'd expect it to go through. We've seen some English players be really successful at Inter. Obviously, John Stones is hoping to do that as well.
Yeah, and Andy mentions Destiny Udogi on the left-hand side. There's also Andy Robertson there as well. So opportunities are going to be limited for him. And I wonder what the right price would be. You know, he's had 4 seasons at Spurs. You know, he started 42 league games in 4 seasons. Few loan spells in that as well.
Yeah, I just feel like last season in and out of the team, wasn't he? But I look at his performances in the World Cup, especially the start of the World Cup, and a lot of people getting on his back, and then he improved his performances. I think it just seems a bit low. You know what I mean? Because I feel like when you look at him defensively, not many people get past him 1v1. Can he do better going forward? Yes, he can. One of the quicker players as well, which you need as a defender. But fantastic sign for Inter Milan, you know, because they like to play sometimes, don't they, the 3 at the back. It'd be a perfect wing back, getting forward as well. But I just think 25 seems a bit low to me. Maybe 35, 40 maybe.
Yeah, well, you know it can be dangerous buying players off the back of World Cups.
Of course, yeah. But I do look at Jed Spence, and I do look at him as a good player. I think as long as he gets used to the Italian way over there, and John Stones being there will help him as well.
That will help him, yeah. You know, and maybe Curtis Jones might end up there as well.
Exactly. And Spurs, you know, no European football this season. They looking at it thinking we can use that money to add to some attacking players, because they are blessed, aren't they, defensively, Spurs?
Yeah, and no surprise, really, you know, as far as Christian Romero is going. I mean, it's almost a case of, well, I was going to say, it's almost a case of get him out of the club, isn't it?
Get him out. You don't want him around the club. You want him gone before the first game of the season, because he's a sort of character, Jeff. If he's not starting that first game of the season, could he be a bad egg around the training ground, around the club? Get him out. Get that done before next weekend. Get your money in. Use that money and the Spencer money towards getting a top striker or a top winger.
And that was going to be my next question. So on the face of it, Tonali, Fernandes, Van Hecker, Robertson, Senesi, done really good business, but where is the attacking threat? You know, where is the striker? Where is the wide player?
Yeah, because you look at Solanke, injury problems last season, but even Solanke at his best, Spurs need another option to push him. Richarlison, I would get rid of as well. You know, I don't think he's good enough for where Spurs want to get to. Maddison, I'm looking forward to seeing him back in action, Jeff. You know, he's such an important player, because Xavi Simons is probably out for the majority of the season. But they probably could do with another winger as well, and the top striker. And I'm sure with those 2 sales of Romero and Spence, that'll be what? Nearly 60 million, 65 million for the both of them. That can be put towards a top striker. But who, though? That's the thing, isn't it? What player is out there that Spurs can go and get.
Don't grow on trees, do they?
Exactly.
It's interesting in that news that Mikel Antonio's training with Watford. I mean, he was in the studios not so very long ago now, and said he was fit and was determined to carry on playing football. And it would be interesting to see whether he could cut it at that level.
Yeah,
no, he certainly believes he can.
And I think he deserves a chance, Jeff. He's just got to, in his mind, understand that whatever a club's going to offer him, Jeff, it's going to be big appearance-based. Because of what he went through and how fit is he. You want to see. He's not going to get a big contract at Watford if he does end up signing for Watford. It could be low money and big appearance fees to see if you can get through games and how sharp are you, how fit are you, which is fair, I think, from Watford's point of view, whoever signs him this summer.
And I think that's probably would be acceptable to him. I know he went off to the Middle East, but he wasn't going off to one of the big Saudi clubs where he was on big bucks. He went just to try and play a bit of football, and that's what he is determined to do. I think he could be. Look, if he's anywhere near
hungry,
there he was. Oh, my goodness. He will be a revelation.
Especially, Jeff, what he went through, like a terrible car crash. He'll just be happy to play football again. So I do think you'll see the hunger. Some players, Jeff, when they go down the leagues maybe, or they go to the Championship when they've been playing in the Premier League for many seasons, they're like, okay, last couple of years of my career, I'm not really up for it. But I think he will be, because he'll be happy to be playing again.
He feels as well he has a point to prove.
Exactly. West Ham didn't leave good terms, did he?
No. Sai says, Jeff, real concerns at Newcastle with our recruitment structure and especially the PIF. They seem completely detached from us, haven't done anywhere near enough to increase our revenue. And Kev says, he's a Coventry fan, by the way, he said, unfortunately, I think Villa will lose Unai Emery this season. He deserves to be at a top 4 club. And unfortunately, I think with what other clubs have spent this pre-season, Villa will not be able to compete. So I could see Unai leaving.
No. And sometimes, Jeff, we look too much at this club spent that, this club spent that. Yeah, but you could spend 60 million on a striker, and then a young lad like Maggio, we signed for 10 million, could outscore them this season. Yeah, you never know. A young lad like Hemmings, hungry. That's what you want. You want young, hungry players in your side. So the manager's going nowhere.
Yeah, but equally from a manager's point of view, Unai Emery, he'll know how good he is. He will know he could be in demand. And if you keep selling your best players, well, it can be sort of rather like running through quicksand or cement from a manager's point of view. And
I think it depends, Jeff, on if Villa finish in European places this season. If we don't, then I think he will go. I think he's the sort of manager, if there's no European football, okay, I need to go into a different project. He loves Europa League, Champions League, playing European football every week.
Yeah. He would be a massive loss, wouldn't he? But look, no prospect of that at the moment. Coming up, we'll turn our attention back to the EFL getting underway. Remember, talkSPORT 7 Live and exclusive commentaries across the network this weekend. We are joined next by the Birmingham City boss, Chris Davis. That's coming up.
Who's winning the title?
Don't know. I don't know. I want to know what you think of this because I haven't got a clue. I really haven't. I think it's one of the most hardest calls to make we've had in recent years.
The thing is about Manchester City, I wonder without Pep how different it'll be.
Yep, and if they lose Rodri.
Exactly. You wonder what it's going to be like,
but
then you never write them off. Arsenal, I think, look like the most complete team.
Gabriel injured though for 5 months.
For 5 months.
And Trossard going out. I don't like the Trossard sale. I really don't. I think he's such a big, influential player for them. I can't believe they've sold him.
I know, but then Guimaraes came on in.
Big signing. Like him a lot.
But then I also look at Manchester United and I wonder, but Chelsea, I think, Jason's right. I don't think we should be sleeping on it at all.
No. We could have a 5 or 6 horse race this season. Yeah. That would be incredible. It really would. I don't want to see somebody run away with it.
Go on then though, but Jason looked down the camera and delivered that it will be Chelsea.
I know.
So who is it, Ben? Put your neck on the line.
I'm going to say Man United. I do. I think Man United. I think the last season's form has set into motion a style of play and an expectation of what them players have to deliver week in, week out for Manchester United.
But they've got Champions League. They're back in Champions League.
They're back in Champions League.
I think they've got enough.
I think if they can add another one or two, Man United are definitely within a shout. But they need to add one or two big uns. But the problem nowadays is if you're going to add one or two big uns, then it's 200 million quid. Liverpool need a couple big uns.
However, I mean, we do know that Manchester United look like they have something left to spend.
Every spring, sports fans in Europe come together to celebrate arguably rugby's biggest annual tournament, the Six Nations. But why is it the home nations, plus France and Italy, and no one else? It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. A few years later, when they could field a team, Wales decided they'd host England and an idea was thought up. With Ireland keen, they formed the Home International Championship, which ran from 1883. In 1910, France was allowed to join, as they were developing into a serious rugby nation, and thus the Five Nations was born. France had an interesting history with the championship. They were actually booted out for paying their players in 1931, when the home nations were keen to keep it amateur. After World War II, though, France were let back in, but it remained a closed shop for more than 50 years. And when another country was let in, it was only really because the Five Nations hand had been forced. Italy was developing into a serious contender, beating Scotland, France and Ireland twice in the same year, meaning in 1999 officials got together and said yes to Italy, and it became the Six Nations. So what changes, if any, come next? 7 nations? 8? A promotion and relegation system? Or should we leave it alone and let it remain the great rugby tradition it's become?
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor and Arnold Clark. It's the perfect time to upgrade your car. Get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car in the upgrade event. Check it out online. Now, it's a big night for Rangers. They look to overturn a 2-1 first leg defeat by Jagiellonian in the third qualifying round of the Europa League. And after not winning any of his first 3 games in charge, manager Derek McInnes was asked how he's keeping morale high around the club.
It's my job to keep my spirits up. It's the players' jobs to keep themselves going. You know, we're about to play in a European game in front of 50,000 tomorrow, and you know that you can't get up for that type of event. And we understand that it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. You know, I got the job for a reason. You know, there's a lot of changes needing, and there's a lot of kind of turnaround of the squad. Of course, it's not been as straightforward as I hoped, and you want to enjoy the job a lot better than what it is at the minute, but you can only enjoy it at Rangers when you're winning. I said that in my press, and for me, we've got stuff to do, we've got work to do, and you know, for me, it's part of being a manager. You know, obviously get a lot of experience, but you know, there is ups and downs, but it's about coping with the difficult times. It kind of defines you, and I think it's up to us now to just knuckle down, stay calm.
Yeah, big night for them. I think they'll turn that round. Do you?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because the start that they've had, they don't want that tonight, and then Rangers get knocked out of Europe already, and they're not through to the Europa League, because Thursday nights at Ibrox are something special, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. Michelle's text said, why haven't you given Everton any credit? We have a young squad in George, Barry and Harrison, who all played well against Newcastle. Come on, give us some credit. Yeah, the young squad, including Michael Keane and James Tarkowski. And no, look, I'll tell you what, they had a decent side out, did Everton. And
Harrison, hasn't he left?
Harrison Armstrong.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, a talented young player. But I mean, I looked at Ndiaye. There's been rumours about Ndiaye, hasn't there? But he started. Tierno Barry started. Hayden Hackney started as well. I think he could be a big success for them. Kieran Dewsbury all started too. And it was a good win for them. I think Everton will have a good season.
I think they'll be top 10.
That's
where I look at them. Yeah,
you know. So it's a bit about depth there, isn't it, as far as they're concerned? Although that Charlie Alcaraz on the bench and
Brennan Johnson,
Rowe,
no, not yet.
Not yet. Beto, James O'Brien, Tyler Dibbling, hasn't kicked on there as yet.
Very odd, isn't it, Jeff, with him? Because you know when you watched him, Southampton, you're like, wow, this is a player here. Something's between him and the manager isn't clicking, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was one season, and that's my only question mark, because I saw him a lot in that one season, and my goodness, he was terrific.
Unstoppable, wasn't
he? Just needs to rekindle that somehow.
Yes.
9:37 now. The EFL gets up and running this weekend, and talkSPORT has you covered every step of the way.
And the talkSPORT network is your home of the EFL throughout the season.
Jimenez with a header. Oh, it's brilliant. Powerful header from Raul Jimenez. Heading back across goal. It's in. It's in. And Blackburn back-to-back wins.
They are back in the Championship. Bolton 4, Stockport 1. Preston North End playing wonderful flowing football.
Gotta love the EFL. Just got to. Britain's ball in, right-footed efforts in. What a start. It's Middlesbrough that take the lead.
Lincoln get the ball into the box. Oh my goodness me. It's 1-0.
Little reverse ball in, fired into the net. Sheffield United are ahead.
Looks for Birmingham. Has scored. Kieran Gore. Brilliant goal. Oh, lovely stuff from Watford.
Larin shoots, Larin scores, and as quick as a flash, Southampton out of nowhere have got a goal, and the cross deflected goes in to give Burnley the lead.
Bowen into the area. Oh, Jared Bowen at his very best.
A superb advert for the EFL.
Yeah, 7 live and exclusive commentaries across the talkSPORT network, starting with Wolves against Blackburn on Friday night. Then on Saturday evening, it's Sheffield United against Birmingham City, which is live on talkSPORT too. So, for more on City, now we're joined by the Blues boss, Chris Davis. Morning, Chris.
Morning, Chris.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Gabby.
Morning, Matt.
So, Chris, reflecting on last season, first of all, top 10 finish, was that satisfactory?
Yeah, I think it was, in the end, it turned out to be a really good season for us in the sense that we were a promoted team coming up to a whole new world, really, from League One, obviously. And it ended up being the best finish we've had in 10 years or so at the club. So there was real progress there, I think. And we got to grips with the league as we went along. So I was really pleased with it in terms of getting, some players who've never played in the league before, some experience there, and hopefully that bodes well moving into this season.
Chris, you brought in some new players this summer, and obviously some players have left. How have the new players felt during pre-season?
Yeah, very good. I think at this stage in the last couple of seasons, we've probably had, maybe 10 new faces by this point, and there's a lot to pull together there. This year there's been 3 or 4, but it's been more continuity, so I just want to focus on bringing the right types in, obviously the character side of things, but knowing what this championship's like, how physical it is. I think there were times last season where we were a little bit lightweight in certain games, so I've just tried to make sure that we're bringing the right profile of player, and we've still got a little bit of work to do in the next couple of weeks just to finish that squad off, but hopefully we'll be in good shape moving forward.
You brought in a young Spanish midfielder, spent quite a bit on him as well, I hope I pronounced it wrong, John Solis. How's he settling in?
He's a good player. He really is. He came in from Girona, obviously he's with this City group, and he got into it really quickly. He was one of those that the fans, they liked him straight away. He's 6'2", he can move, he can pass and play, but he's got that kind of aggressive side to him, which I like as well. So in the Championship, it can't all be pretty. There's a second balls. You need to be physical in the challenge, and he's got all that, but he can play. So he's really grown with it. I think he's got a high ceiling as a player, no doubt about it. And I think as a club, for an investment side, it's been a really good signing for us.
Chris, 7 points off the playoffs last season, finished in 10th position. I'm hearing that there's 20,000 season tickets already sold for the forthcoming season, 14,000 more on the waiting list. Is this season the minimum requirement playoffs, especially now it's top 8?
Yeah, I think for us, it's trying to make progress and make the next step. You know, that the bar's been raised a lot. When I first came in, it was you've got to get out of League One, obviously. We come up to the Championship and it's, firstly, make sure you stabilise in the league. And now we're looking to take that next step, which is obviously the hardest one, which is, to get to the Premier League. And obviously that would be, the obvious thing would be finishing in the top 8. So what I'm really cautious to do is put big words and expectations on it. The league's too unforgiving for that. What I want us to do is just be a really competitive team, home and away. Last season we were exceptional at home and we weren't good enough away from home. We just had this too many games got away from us, but we had a good start in the cup against Swansea. We won 1-0 against a good team there last week, so that obviously sets us up for this Sheffield game. So yeah, look, from my point of view, we know what it's going to be like. It's going to be a big challenge, but I believe if we can get the right kind of momentum during the season, we can really make an impact.
Yeah, I mean, your home form was terrific last season. It was 13 away defeats, wasn't it? I tell you what, I mean, I know you've got to play all the teams at some stages, Chris, but the fixtures are not too kind, are they? It's certainly the way you start. I mean, the home games are Bristol City, Wolves, Southampton and Middlesbrough, and away Sheffield United, Wrexham, Norwich and Derby in the first 8. So, goodness me, that will test you.
Yeah, I think someone said to me yesterday, it's defined as statistically the hardest start of any team in the league. But when it came out, my actual instinct was excitement, because I thought, we can get after this. And, expectation was so high last year in terms of coming up, and this idea that we would sort of stroll through the Championship, which never even existed in my mind. But to have a season where we're starting and we know we're going to be up against it straight away, I think it sets us up well. I think we've got the capability to get results in those games, but you do have to play them all. The most important thing is by the end of April, early May, that we're in the position we want to be.
Brilliant. Yeah, look, mate, I mean, we wish you well,
Yes.
Big club, big support, and the such like. So, Chris, best of luck this season.
Some of your staff as well, Chris, playing too much paddle tennis. Some of your staff.
Yeah, we are. It's a big favourite of the staff here. Everyone's playing it now. It's a new squash.
Lovely.
Brilliant. Best of luck,
Man.
Chris.
Good luck, mate.
Okay, thanks a lot. Take care.
Chris Davis, the Birmingham City manager there. Just a word, we mentioned Tyler Dibbling. Charlie's responded almost immediately there. He's obviously a big Everton fan. He said, morning lads, Tyler Dibbling is a big hope for us Evertonians this year. He wasn't given ample chance last year, nor did he take the few chances he was given. However, he had undoubtedly his best performance for Everton over in Germany in pre-season, and he looked like the Tyler Dibbling of old. Well, that would be massive.
Yeah. With a manager like David Moyes, if you're not putting it in training, Jeff, if you're not getting your chance and you're the best player on the pitch or you're working the hardest, you're not going to play.
Yeah.
Don't matter who you are. David Moyes is old school. So he's got to do a lot more. He's got to show a lot more in training to get his chance.
I mean, it's interesting because he's a young boy, and at Southampton for that season, he was the star of the show.
Yes.
So different mentality when you go to a big club like Everton, and you are no longer the one shining star.
He just fits, doesn't he, on that right-hand side, cutting on his left foot, get him scoring goals, getting assists. Fingers crossed, especially with Dwight McNeil leaving now.
Yeah.
They're not blessed with that many left-footers. So, yeah, hopefully he gets his playing time.
Oh, yeah. Love to see the Tyler Dibbling of old this season, that's for sure. 9:45, with it being A-level results day, and Gabriel Agbonlahor Jr. getting 2 A stars and an A. We've just had Gabby's talkSPORT results in from the bosses. Up next, we'll review Gabby's year on talkSPORT Breakfast.
honestly, I've seen a few messages today and you go, yeah, that O'Hara and Gabby are talking rubbish, need to get rid of them. You know, Rory talks sense. I'm like, having a laugh.
Yeah, that was me. That was me saying that. Yeah. I've been commenting. I've been God, those two have been terrible. Look at those two giggling away.
Brennan Johnson, listen, fair play to him. He had a little bite. And that's fine. Got no problem with a player having a bite back because it's all part and parcel of working in the media, being a footballer. You're going to take criticism. He obviously didn't like the fact that we said it was crap for crap. What he didn't realise, and I'm sure...
That's weird of him, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously he's not going to like that. But, it was only a bit of a laugh. But, I get it. People are going to... You get the ump with things. I've been called crap plenty of times. Get called crap every single day of the week. Don't take it personal. All right? It is what it is. He has been crap.
Yeah, I think that's
like,
the point.
I'm sorry, but, I'm not saying he's a bad player. Anyone who plays Premier League football, anyone who does what he's done, fair play. Brilliant. Last season, Brennan Johnson was crap.
Yeah.
He would be the first to admit it. And hopefully he goes to Everton and he does all right. And Dwight McNeil goes the other way. I like Dwight McNeil. I think he's a good player. But his stats, is what we were talking about on the show, me and Gabby, were crap.
Yeah.
So there's no apology needed. I know Gabby bottled it like he always does.
He blamed you. He said it was you.
He tried to throw me under the bus. Not the first time. Won't be the last. But I'll stand by it. Yeah. I think against Brennan Johnson.
I think you're right.
He's got all the attributes to be a decent player.
Yeah, I think
last
you're right.
season, he was crap.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast 9:49, Thursday, August the 13th. I'm Jeff Stelling Gabby Agbonlahor is with me. Headlines this morning: Chelsea set a Friday deadline for offers of 120 million or more from clubs interested in Enzo Fernandez. Lionel Messi's considering his future in football after the death of his father, Jorge. And after 24 hours of speculation on his future, Miles Lewis-Skelly scored at the Emirates for Arsenal last night in their draw with Como. Former Arsenal winger Perry Groves joined us earlier and had this to say.
Because he's a homegrown player now, because of these ridiculous PSR, FFP rules and whatever, squad cost ratio rules, it becomes pure profit. But Arsenal don't need the money. It's not as if they're struggling for revenue. And I read an interview yesterday about Lewis Gay saying that he wants to stay and fight for his place, which I think is brilliant because he's not a left back. He was put in at left back making his debut because Arsenal was short on bodies, and he played really well, coming into midfield. Now he's a centre midfield player. And as you said there, look, you can't have too many good players. And by all accounts, talking to a few people behind the scenes, his attitude is really good, in training, and, he's quite a laid back character. And I love the fact that he said that he wants to stay and fight for his place.
Yeah, well, he's got a medal for winning a Premier League title. He's at the Champions. Not really a surprise he wants to stay.
No, and he loves Arsenal. Been there since a kid through the academy, you know, but if he's not getting the game time next season, it's a different story in January, isn't it? And come next summer, if he's not getting the stars that he feels he deserves, because it did cost him a place at the World Cup, didn't it?
Yeah, but he's young enough to wait, isn't he?
He's 19.
Yeah. Got his whole future ahead of him. So have students who've been getting their A-level results up and down the country today. It's also, though, a huge morning for Gabby Agbonlahor, whose talkSPORT grades for the past season have just arrived at the news building.
Oh, no.
Now, 2 A stars are required for Gabby to earn a spot on the breakfast show for next year.
Oh, no.
Oh, goodness me.
God.
Well, I have the
Surely
envelope.
A C will do.
I have the envelope in front of me.
Oh, no.
Good luck, Gabby.
Okay, mate. Come on.
I'm seeing this for the first time as well.
Oh, no.
Okay, your first grade is for geography.
Oh.
And your teachers have sent in a clip for us to play before I reveal your grade.
Gabby Agbonlahor, you're up first. Easy one for you to start. How many stars are on the USA flag?
Oh.
Stop it. Stop.
That's a tough one. 8. Guess. 8? I don't know, mate. 8!
Unfortunately, Gabby, your grade for geography is a D.
Better than my GCSE grade. I'll take that, Jeff.
Do you know now how many stars there are on the flag?
There's a lot more, put it that way.
More than 8.
Yeah, a lot more than 8.
That's correct. There are more than 8.
Thank you. That's a correct answer.
Right. And next grade, this is for ratings. And your teachers say, despite many absences due to repeated trips abroad into the South Coast, Gabriel has shown himself to be a well-valued member of the breakfast team. And I can reveal that talkSPORT Breakfast has reached record figures in recent ratings.
Okay.
So your grade for ratings is A star.
Oh,
that's one of them.
Thank you very much.
Right, your next grade is for music.
Oh.
Your teachers say Gabby has given his all at improving his singing voice, and we've seen some signs of progression. Unfortunately for Gabby, though, it's this song that he was being graded on.
Dreams can come true, and Marie, we're with you. Know you gotta spend money. I know you gotta catch Arsenal. Dreams can come true. PSI, I hate you. Let us spend some money. Let us buy some good players.
Gabby, your grade for music is unfortunately a C.
I'll take that, though.
I think it's a bit generous, I've got to be honest.
When I was a kid, Jeff, C was good. give me 6, 7 C's in GCSEs. I'll bite your arm off.
Yeah. Right, the next grade is for drama. And once again, we have a note from your teachers. Gabby, it says, we quickly realised that acting was something Gabby wasn't born for, which we discovered when the class was tasked with voicing a role in their favourite movie.
My mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. I had run for 3 years, 2 months, 14 days, and 16 hours. Lieutenant Dan got me invested in some kind of fruit company. So then I got a call from him saying, we don't have to worry about money no more. And I said, that's good, one less thing. Mama always had a way of explaining things so I could understand them. Stupid is as stupid does.
See?
Gabby in Forest Gab. Unfortunately, Gabby, the grade for drama is D-.
D-? Yeah. Not that bad.
Well, I've got a quote from Jamie O'Hara here. He says, crap.
Crap versus crap.
Right, the final grade. And this is for Arsenal wind-ups.
Oh.
And your teachers say, nothing needed from us here. The proof is in the work that Gabby has put in over the past year.
For
I've got a stat for you. Arsenal have won 2 European trophies that don't exist anymore.
Yes, I've decided to call you Gobbo because you are quite gobby, Gabby.
Agbonlahor, you're making me boil right now. I can't stand you, mate.
He's absolutely on a wind-up. I'm not having it, Gabby. You're taking the mick. 5 points from 5 games. Get a grip.
We're not deluded, but I think Gabby needs a box of tissues and needs to go and cry in a little corner somewhere. You're the rattled one, Gabby. I think you're the one that's been rattled since 2015.
You just got after Arsenal. You got after Arsenal every single day. Gabby, for goodness sake.
Gabby, to earn a spot on the talkSPORT breakfast team, you need an A star here. And I can confirm you've done it.
Oh, thank you, Jeff. Great news.
An A star for your Arsenal wind-ups. If there was a higher grade than an A star, you'd have got it, mate. There's no question about that.
I can't help it. I was actually funny, Jeff, yesterday on the line bike. The people I was flying past, when they saw me, they were like, "You!" You can say it's Arsenal fans. How dare you drive through Bermondsey and Greenwich? How dare you?
Brilliant, brilliant.
Fun,
so how proud are you of your achievements, mate?
Listen, me and my son are going to celebrate tonight. You know, we both got 2 A stars, Jeff. So it's fantastic news, and hopefully next year's results can be just as good.
Brilliant. Yeah, well done, Gabby. Congratulations.
Yes.
And congratulations.
To everyone.
Yeah,
Yes.
to everyone. And by the way, we mentioned this before, but I just thought I'd leave you with this message from Griff. This is for people who haven't got the grades that they wanted. And he said, "Hi, lads. I struggled at school. I served in the armed forces and ran successful businesses for the past 20 years.
Exactly.
Please tell all students there is light at the end of the tunnel, whatever your result."
Yes.
And I would absolutely echo that. Brilliant.
Agreed. Well said.
Gabby, thanks for your company,
Top
mate.
man, Jeff.
Absolutely
Well done,
loved
mate.
it. Don't forget, Alan Brazil and Ray Parler back with you tomorrow from 6 in the build-up to a huge weekend of football. EFL underway, and of course more National League football. I'm heading to Aldershot. 7 live and exclusive commentaries from the EFL across the talkSPORT network. We've also got the Community Shield as well. Coming up next, Siobhan Ahern and Steve Bruce.
I've been watching Chelsea pre-season. I'm making a statement now. There is no reason why Chelsea cannot win this title. In fact, I'm going to say it. Chelsea win the title.
Oh!
Chelsea win the title. There is something about Chelsea. There is something about what we have got a cheat code. I'm not proud to say this, but we can go and win the title for a number of reasons. One,